Hello, boys! We're back. We did it again. I guess
we're back.
I guess we have a new champion to discuss. I guess he's champion, even though he didn't take the belt when he left the cage, and someone else retired, supposedly. Interesting card. We got a full house. We got the Brady Bunch crew back. We're enjoying doing these video shows. I guess we'll start with the elder statesman. I guess by I'm not even sure how. Actually, I should rephrase that. I should just say that the guy who's been with the show the longest.
There we go.
Probably more accurate.
I don't think I'm the
direction I thought you were going.
Jay, I think you're older than me, I believe.
Yeah, by I think a couple of years.
How old are you?
Jay doesn't talk about age, Lance.
That's
on a need-to-know basis.
It doesn't start with a 4, does it?
No.
Oh, then Wesley's the elder.
Yeah, born in the 80s. Come on now.
Yeah, we all know this.
Yeah, we know this. But yeah, so you're doing okay.
Yeah.
You didn't join us for our little live conversation on Saturday, but that's okay. Your dad did. That was cool.
Yes, my dad joined and I did not.
Barry was ahead of us on the feed time, which is pretty interesting, but that's fine.
Were you guys all streaming and then he was using
the pay-per-view?
Yeah. And his old man ears couldn't hear, so we kept hearing all the decisions before they came.
And then he would like mute it and then be like, he'd go, y'all pay attention right now, and then dude, somebody's dead. I'm like,
just fucking leading everybody.
That's the worst. Udo fight. He was like, ooh.
And Jay, you see that takedown at 27 seconds?
He's like, I don't have any time left.
That's so. I've been using like streaming TV for like 3 years now or something like that. So he always knows what, like on live sports, to always wait about a minute or so before he texts me on like touchdowns or like fights or whatever it is. So he's just so used to it now with me from texting.
Jeez, so you get the respect, and we don't get any sort of consideration. I see how it is.
That is correct. Yeah,
it's usually the opposite though. He likes us more than he likes you.
I mean, even though on the stream he was telling us how much that Corey is such a better son than you, and he loves him so much more than he ever could you.
Well, I'm also a favorite over both of them. So
yeah, just the trip from Nashville to Cincinnati was such a bonding experience. It
was enough.
Jay overtook both of y'all.
I'm in the will.
Are you guys going to Vegas in October this year?
Is anyone going to Vegas in October this year?
I'm going. Yeah,
I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand.
I'm going to pass this year. I think I'm going to pass this year.
Vegas is. They're saying now it should be open by Memorial Day.
Until they fuck it up.
Lance is gonna be tenting like where they put the homeless people in those fucking squares on the pavement.
I'm in. I'm going.
You gotta wait till October to go.
Lance is like, are they gonna have a table in the parking lot where I can roll hard eights? I'm fucking there.
Yeah. So they actually already released the from the Nevada Athletic Board or Gaming Board, like all the rules. So it's like 3 people at a blackjack table, like 4 at roulette.
Yep.
Like 5 at poker, and then craps tables are 6. And I was like, that just means more craps tables will be open. Let's do it. So many craps tables. They have all the tables. They never open. Now they'll all be open.
You don't have to squeeze in beside anybody.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll wear a mask, and then I'll get like some kind of like device that can go under a mask and like drink my booze. And
they're going to have them anywhere. It's Vegas.
Oh, it's going to be, yeah. They're going to sell like $25 masks where you can somehow get a straw into it. I'm in.
I know you'd be in. I guess we'll move on to the other American. He is 1 state away from Lance, the Sodsman. He's still going outside. He's getting allergies. He's immune to allergies at this point. He better be.
No, I'm actually not. I actually used to. I could walk through clouds of that shit when I was younger, but now it fucks me up bad. Getting old sucks, man.
Tough industry to be in.
I don't think it's the allergies. I think it's the years and years of accumulation of the marijuanas.
that could be it. You figure that toughen up my fucking my nasal passage a little bit now. Can we talk about how Lance is more of a Southerner than I am? That's wild, right?
Well,
like you can't tell by the voice, but.
In terms of geography, yes, I am more south.
Yeah,
but in terms of
not even close. Yeah,
You know, Rocket Top, Tennessee, we opened today, y'all. We got bars open, Broadway open, there's country stars. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Seriously, the bars on Broadway, a few of them opened today.
Well, it's good to be you. I can't say
Oh, I'm not going.
Were they
Yeah.
Yeah, with your immune system, I probably wouldn't leave the house for a solid year. Or two.
I got my beach vacation in a month. I'm ready to roll.
You're going to Gulf Shores again?
I haven't been to Gulf Shores since college, so no.
Sure.
I go to Hilton Head.
That's a different beach.
Nice one. Snobby Beach.
I've only been to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, never Hilton Head. Too far south.
It's about 5,000 times better, I would say.
Different. Well, anyway, good
So
story.
should we talk about fights or
No, we didn't introduce the other two. We got Canada. Don't forget about them.
They don't.
That's right.
No, they're not. No, we don't introduce them.
They've already been reduced to about half their value since this virus started. You
It's
know.
okay. We're building that wall.
Oh,
Keeping you
you're
fucks out.
building
We
the
don't want that
wall.
shit.
How are you guys paying for
We're
it?
building the wall and
In
Trump's paying for it.
And
Trump's
America's
paying
gonna
for it,
pay
baby.
right?
Yeah.
We tricked him into thinking it was his idea.
Yeah.
He's gonna build that wall.
You might
That's
be better
fair.
off.
Oh,
We told him they were
definitely
gonna
better.
send
off.
all
It's a good negotiating
Quebec
tactic.
down there.
That's a good negotiating tactic with that dude.
So yeah, that's good. They're here. They're alive. We had a pretty good fight card. I don't know how to grade it. It was at least like an 8 out of 10, I think.
It was hit or miss.
Yeah,
It's up and
prelims are
down,
hit or
yeah.
miss. Pay per view was good.
There was some miss. We had that real great fight early, and then there was a women's fight which just killed the mood.
Oh, it was far worse than the previous fight was great.
And then
Oh,
Olenek and Verdun, which we'll get into.
That was okay.
Yeah, it was
I was
sloppy.
entertained.
Oh, it was
Sloppy
not
fun.
okay.
I was
Sloppy,
entertained.
gassy fun.
It was, the outcome was
thought-
up in the air till the end, and it was.
I thought it was okay. Yeah,
I
thought
made
it
some
was
money
okay.
on it, so fatties.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
women's fight was so bad.
Me and Brad were over there like, yes. So yeah, it was good.
Slop it up, boys.
Yeah.
That women's fight was so bad that after the fight, Esparza thanked Watterson for social distancing and wasn't joking.
Just trying to get paid. If you think about it, they're pretty smart. They didn't get fucking punched much, and they got paid a decent amount of money, and they just
10K.
Yeah, they didn't.
10K,
10K is 10K they didn't have yesterday.
10 G's before you pay your camp and everything
Didn't even
else.
need to fight. Just fucked up a card for the rest of us.
Oh, that was boring.
You know who doesn't need to pay a camp? We're going to talk about him later.
He has been training his entire life for this moment.
Yeah, I'm going down to Quorum for free.
Yeah, we'll get to him later. But the first fight of the night and the first fight in the UFC, I guess, since the Brazil no crowd card in
The
March,
Bronx.
the first fighter to come out, I believe, was Sam Alvey of all people. Good Lord, help
Yes.
us. We
He was
went from,
waving at the card, at the crowd. He was
we went
he was
from
doing things.
two Bronx submission to seeing Sam Alvey come out. That's the world we live in.
And I felt just as excited. Like there were fights happening.
And then Ryan Spann came out, looked good early, then got tired. We don't know if it was COVID tired. It could be COVID tired, but he got a decision split. We don't know.
That was an easy winner, Jay. Easy 10 unit, fucking Scud missile, coronavirus special, fucking winner.
Antibody shot. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
an easy one.
Yeah. So Ryan Spann is not good at fighting. He's not. He's just
He's not as good as I thought.
Great body for MMA, but
he's Czech Congo. You want him to be good because he looks like he
What the
should
fuck
be
was
good.
he doing in there? I feel like he could have outstruck Alvey.
Yeah, I
just
have
not
no
good.
idea.
Why are you
Like-
wrestling?
He could have spent 15 minutes jabbing him and kicking him, and
Yeah.
Alvey wouldn't even have been close to him. He would have been
And-
further away
and-
than Watterson.
Instead, he waited in with dumb looping shots and got tagged with that
Oh,
right hand
God.
over and over and over and
then-
fucking over,
And,
and then
couldn't
got
wrestle.
himself in trouble late. Yeah.
and couldn't take Albie down for shit. Like
Yeah, he's not very good.
he's not what. I mean, I think I remember some on the show saying last week he was perennial top 10. Like after this weekend, and I'm not
What was-
seeing that anymore.
Someone with the name Smiling Sam just wrote robbery in the chat.
Well, I know
Solid
it's
work.
not him because he is Smile and Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smiling.
Dead giveaway.
Is
I'm
he the
on
one
to
that-
you, smiling Sam.
Is that the
Trolls couldn't get
apostrophe?
us.
Yep, couldn't do
Smiling
it. And then
apostrophe?
our boy Derek Sparks is in. He's been a fan of the show for a while. So what's up, Derek?
Complimenting me and my
Top,
Beautiful.
probably
Look
top
at that.
5, man. Probably
Jay. I
top
told you I
5.
was bringing the hair this today.
I mean, I don't know who's rocking that.
I'm
layover.
seeing more forehead. Nice.
I don't know who's rocking that layover bang better right now, Brad or Jay. I mean, they're both just flowing.
Not so much here.
It's a lot of volume.
Jay,
I get
Jay's
a nice gloss off this light right here. That's
Jay's
good.
close to have to using a blow dryer and some hairspray. Like it's getting really close.
Once in a while, I use some hairspray, but not today. No.
Lance, I can donate this to you, bud, if you really want it.
Put it up there right in the middle. Yeah.
Sean gonna mail.
I
this
can offer the
motherfucker
same
some
thing but with my
furniture.
ass hair.
All right, so Span sucks next.
Yes,
Oh.
man. I mean, the winner is
No,
the
we're
winner.
done. We're
but-
done.
Yeah.
Move it on.
But one fight we had some dissension on was the next fight. The result, not dissension at all. This was Mitchell's coming out. I guess really coming out party. Like I think everybody now is like, 30-25, 30-25, 30-24 over. Rose is a black belt, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Not
He's
after
a-
like Saturday.
He's a,
Yeah,
he's
he
a-
got that
he's
taken
a
away.
Decent grappler. He's a decent grappler. I don't know if he's like he's a black belt, but he's not
well
one of
above.
those-
He's a well above
He's
average.
decent.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what he was known
Yeah,
for, was being a grappler, but fuck,
Yeah.
he got owned. That was ridiculous with
Dude.
ease.
Mitchell's one of those dudes, man. He's so fucking creative, and I think people underestimate him just because how he is. Like you think he just this goofball and he says this idiotic shit, but that dude is fun, man. Like that wasn't a boring grappling match. Like that was super fun.
He's
It's
got
kind of fun
way-
for the first like 7 or 8 minutes, and then the guy kept doing the same 2 things over and over again for the
But
rest
the
of the
other guy
fight.
didn't know how to
And
stop
didn't
it.
know how to finish an arm
but he
triangle
could,
for the life
yeah,
of
he
him.
couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't finish. That was not.
That was
a
weird.
good part.
There was a couple of them that were super tight. I thought he was going to get, and then he would have finished that twister in the second round if it got saved by the bell. He had that locked at the end of that.
Yeah,
round.
that one was close.
He's gotten a lot better too, man. Like the guy had a lot of holes on tough,
On
man.
Tough, yeah.
He's gotten way better, and I give him credit for that. I thought that was like a kind of coin flip fight, and I took some dog money. I want to see more of Mitchell's hands and stand up because I think that's still lacking a little bit. But god damn, he's legit on the mat, man, and fun. Holy shit, he's fun. He's got to finish that shit though, man. You can't have 17 arm triangles locked in. And
I
not
think the
finish.
only reason he didn't finish it is because Rose is a black belt. I think maybe, I don't know, but
figured he knows
that
how to-
was.
It's weird. I think I was watching with Jeremy and Dougie were the ones in the chat at that.
What were
point.
they
So,
saying?
like the 2 jujitsu guys that we know, and they're just like Mitchell's not even trying to do the proper things to finish the arm triangles. Like he was never trying to get his hand off his ear or anything like that. But it was like the positional stuff was really good. It's just got to figure out ways to finish.
How old is he?
That's my only criticism.
Like
It's like
20?
25.
24,
Yeah.
25, yeah.
Okay. We'll
Yeah,
see
he's
where they do
young.
with him next.
He's young.
I'd like to see him face just to kind of get that test a wrestler to see kind of what he can do.
So
with
you
like,
always want to see it,
Let me
Lance.
see. Let me
that's
just
the
look at
equalizer,
my-
man.
Let me just look at some
Like-
ratings.
Like
Like an
he's not going to hit that twister guillotine on a wrestler.
No, not. But I mean,
Like Andre Feely, Arnold Allen, like guys in that area probably.
I think both
Emmett,
those guys beat him.
Josh Emmett, something like that. I mean,
Josh
I mean,
Emmett-
you could be rushing him. You could just give him fucking scrubs. He's only 25.
Yeah,
Let
well,
him just fucking
I don't mean-
have
Where
fun.
does
Don't
he,
forget
where does he
Kron.
train?
what
Where
about
does he
Kron?
train at?
He trains by himself, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah, see,
Right.
that-
in a small
that's
one.
another thing with those young guys at a certain point. They got to get some legitimate training. Like you can't stay down in Arkansas wrestling boars and shit and be a decent fighter. You got to get better training.
Very few guys have like really like Belcher was like probably the guy who got like the farthest by really just like training with nobodies. Like, and he even from the South. You got to get out of there.
He'll eventually make it to like ATT or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll get down to Florida eventually. I think you're right, Brad. For
Belcher
sure.
never did. He just kind of did his own thing with his own gym. I mean,
So,
I guess
surprise!
And his greatest win was what, like the Polares win? So
one of my favorite fights of all time.
I'm
was-
surprised.
yes,
I'm
but, like-
I was
surprised
there. I
Kobe-
love that fight. Yeah, never forgot
I'm
that.
surprised Kobe hasn't already caught up, Mitchell. They can hit the rallies together, do a little.
They can bring Derek Lewis with them.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But yeah, Mitchell's good. I
Yep.
like to see what he can do. I'm not saying throw him there with guy. When I say a wrestler, I don't mean like a top 10 wrestler. I just mean a guy who can
Just a
wrestle,
little test.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little,
Oh, yeah,
little
for sure.
test so we know.
like a
They-
one-time All-American.
They should take it slow. They should take it slow with Mitchell, man. I think the kid's got the charisma to be pretty good and a decent star in
He's
the sport.
marketable.
he could be like
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
Moving up to the prelims on ESPN, which on paper were really exciting. But
This was so good.
in my opinion, this is the best fight on the card, right? I mean, I was most entertained on this card. I know the main event, but I really love this fight, and I think Luque at this point is a friend of the MMA Analysis. I think that's.
Lance doesn't like him, but
Jay,
he's
why
the
were
guy
you a
we
fan
bring
of
into the
main
group,
event
and
as much as this one?
he's the guy we everyone else likes, but then Lance has got to be that one guy. Is like,
I don't
I don't like
him.
him joining the crew.
he's
So-
got holes. Like his ceiling is not that high. That's what I think we figured out. But he's made us some money, and he's usually in fun fights. That's kind of why we like him.
I don't not like him. I say this a lot, but I nothing him.
Yeah.
If he's fighting,
You're
I'm
the
like,
only
okay,
one.
he's in the card. There's a lot of people who don't know who Luque is.
He doesn't have very many boring fights, Lance.
People that
I would say
people
there's
that-
like a
He
1 to
just-
10 scale of like a 1 is I will actively avoid watching fights because that person's fighting, and a 10 is like the Bronx is fighting.
Yeah.
Luke
Or
is
Dave.
like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah,
that's not
I
bad.
think that's
That's
max.
And he has
bad.
no,
Yeah, see,
he has no
I'm-
personality.
I think he's a mid-8.
yeah,
I
see,
know, but he's
it's
always
always
gonna.
like-
He's never gonna reach that level where who gives a fuck if he has personality. He puts on fun fights.
yeah. As far as like in the cage, to me, catching a Luque fight, I'm like Jay. I'm at like an 8. I know it's gonna be an exciting fight. Now, as far as anything else goes, yeah, I mean, who really knows Luque? But like Sean said, he's got holes, but those holes make it kind of a perfect combination for great fights, especially when you got a guy like Nico Price standing on the other side of the cage. That fight was fucking awesome, man. Nico Price is a fucking maniac too. That guy's face after that fight, his eye just, god damn, man. But
not as good, but I'll watch. I'd rather be more excited for a Price fight than a Luque fight because I know some crazy shit's gonna happen.
it's kind of
Well,
I
Luque
kind of
Gaethje's
look.
better comp, so it's.
I look
usually
at him
got a
kinda
higher
evenly.
opponent.
That's how I get excited. But I'm Price and Luque. They're kind of even to me. Luque though, man, the striking on Luque is unbelievable, man. Until it comes to the defense, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy, he gets hit so much, and
It's kind of like Thomas Almeida. Like super good offensively, and then the defensively, there's holes. He just has a better chin than Almeida.
Brad talked about it too.
And a
Like,
ground game.
the guy's like a
That's fair.
legitimate black belt and just refuses to fucking use any of it, man.
He's Gaethje, man. He take one,
Shit,
he
you're
get one.
Gaethje.
He's got great striking. Gaethje has
Gaethje-
wrestling that he refuses to use, and Luque has BJJ that he refuses to use.
That Gaethje stat though, 7 fights in the UFC, 0 sub attempts, 0 takedown attempts.
That's the man, dude.
What was it needed?
What a madman! What a madman!
Considering he's an all-American wrestler.
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
got
no
a takedown in
What,
UFC.
what a madman!
And it's not like he can't wrestle in MMA. He's got some like crazy slam knockouts and stuff too. Like
He wants to bang, bro.
he does.
Nico's going to be out for a little bit after I think this one, but he'll be back probably the end of the year, I'm sure.
I expected
man,
Luque to do a lot better. That was sketchy as fuck. I had him inside the distance, and I thought
You're
that
always,
was a
I
write-off.
feel like he's always one of those guys, though. He's going to take damage because that's what he does. It doesn't make you feel uncomfortable, but offensively, he's so much better than the guys he's facing. Because
And
he's
his
probably,
chin- and
he's
his
probably a
chin's
top
ridiculous. His
6 or-
chin is
I mean, what
Yeah, I
division
wasn't
is that,
sure he was
right?
gonna hold
He's
that.
playing with fire, though.
yeah,
He's
oh yeah,
arguably-
absolutely.
He may be a top 5 striker in welterweight. He probably is.
I mean,
hand-
he went
his
to a
hand,
split
but-
with Perry. The Barberina fight, he was losing until he finished with 6 seconds left. That's fucking playing with fire.
Luque is okay. He's okay.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch.
The
Expected
next
more.
fight I want to spend 0 time on.
Yeah, we can skip it. It wasted enough of our time on Saturday night.
we'll
Let's
just
not
talk
waste any
about-
time here.
More judging with 30-27s on both sides.
Yeah,
That's all there to be said about that.
dude, you got Florida men.
It was as bad as we thought it was going to be. Let's just leave it.
They had a guy reffing down there that hadn't judged in like fucking 4 years and had done like
did you
one
see his
UFC fight.
Well, the one guy, that guy you're talking about, did you see the last fight he judged?
Yeah, it was like a fucked up decision. I can't
Oh, it
remember.
was
It was Melvin Gillard versus Gaethje.
Yeah, and he gave yeah.
Whoa.
yeah, bad one.
Whoa. Let's move on.
So
Heavyweights.
hold on, real quick. Someone asked who should Luque fight next.
Let's see.
So Luque's ranked 13th. Ahead of him is Jeff Neal, Robbie Lawler, Diaz, RDA, Chiesa.
Jeff Neal's
I mean,
a great
What about
Jeff
Ponte?
Neal.
What about Ponte's?
It makes absolutely no sense, but I would love to see him fight Lawler.
I would love to see
Yeah,
Ponte's scheme fight. That'd be good though.
Are they at the same camp?
Ponzi scheme or Lawler?
No, Lawler, Brutal
Yeah.
Bob.
Is Robbie at
Okay,
365?
I have
I'm
no
not
idea.
sure.
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
I
he
don't know,
went
like,
with
split
Hoof.
happened.
Yeah, Robbie went with Hoof. So I don't know if Luque went with him or
I think
he's
so.
at. Where's Luque at?
I thought he
Luque
was.
go with him
I thought
too?
he was a Black Zillion, and then he
He
moved
was,
to
but I don't know where he
365.
went after.
Yeah, yeah.
We went after.
Most of them went with Henry Hoof.
I mean, there's two ways. Like, has Luque had like Luque?
You could do Anthony Pettis.
veteran.
Derek, super fan of the show, is suggesting Anthony Pettis. I guess that's an option as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pettis is ranked 15th.
I wouldn't mind seeing
They said
Pettis
they're
retired, so that's fine.
Yeah, the guys in the chat did say they're teammates. So I was actually
So
right.
Robbie Lawler doesn't give a fuck. He'll fight the dude anyway.
Yeah, I think he should fight 170-pound Rumble next fight. And just-
Lance,
You
did
have
you
to
see the
agree ahead
Rumble
of
post
time.
today? Rumble said he's down to like 238 or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got a
my
ways to
man.
go. 3 more
Yeah.
days. Give it 3 more days.
Dude,
Get back
my-
to it.
Rumble's
I
like,
just-
I'm cutting and I'm down to
Yeah.
238, guys.
Dude,
There's weight cutting. There's rumble cutting. They're different.
dude,
Yeah, no doubt.
I think Fight Island, Greg Hardy, Anthony Johnson.
Fuck.
God.
Can we bring
Is there
back
an
Charlie
island
Brandon?
big enough? Is there an island big enough for all that hog?
Derek
Dude.
Lewis?
Fuck.
Oh my, Derek Lewis. Derek
Dakota-
Lewis ain't going to a Fight Island.
Dakota Cocker.
It don't fuck Derek Lewis.
For the ladies and the boys.
Exactly.
He's
Gotta
just
have
on
a
for
little
one
bit of
guest episode.
All right. What's next?
Heavyweights. We had the Ezekiel choke meister, Alexei Olenek, taking on Fabricio Verdum. I think it's fair to say Verdum has regressed to being a
To
nothing in this weight class.
Being a fat tub of 42-year-old flesh.
40, yeah.
With shitty
know what
striking and shitty cardio and
A lot of
I mean,
handling of the loves.
Has there been a more obvious I did not train for this? It's the most obvious I've seen in a long time. Like
slash.
he-
You
He
saw
literally-
it fucking caught me.
well, that, but like you could tell they called him like 3 weeks ago. I was like, "Hey, you want to fight?" And he's like, "Yeah." All right.
We can still get a win here. This guy
He was
can't do
looking
it.
extra flabby. Holy fuck.
Yeah, he looked really, really bad. He's looked
What did he
bad.
weigh in at for that fight?
250, I think.
Oh.
245,
Yeah,
but
that's big for
all
him.
fat. He had no muscle on him.
Is that
Yeah.
when he was like championship caliber, he was around what, like a low 230s, like 233, 234.
Yeah. But he was
Yeah.
big. He was cut. Like he was like a fat blob of shit in this fight. He's never been like this fucking jack.
No.
like, maniac, but
No.
dude, he looked bad. Like he said, "Pay me, I'm done."
Just
Yeah, he
spamming
wa-
shitty knees and doing nothing with them. Never
didn't
landing,
even
just
care
wasting
that he
time and
lost.
taking punches from Olenek while you're doing
like,
it.
Now, Lenny,
Instead of like trying to lock in the choke, like he kept going for that fucking armbar, and like
Yeah, which
He did have a couple slick transitions on the ground when he was on his back to get to top
Yeah,
control.
he's still
Yeah.
a great grappler. It's just
I mean, he got mount. He had
he's
mount.
a very
at one
lazy
point.
grappler too.
Yeah,
you saw him lazy in the second round when he was like, "Oh, I'm too high." Like, he just kind of like fell over and was like, "What?" The funny thing is,
And that was the fight.
Yeah, if he doesn't, like, he was so fucking high. Like, he was, like, balancing on his head on the other side.
Yeah.
And he kind of rolled through, and I was like, oh, my God. And then I was like, fuck, that's it. That's a wrap there. He doesn't give a shit if he wins this fight. Like, everyone who bet on him cared more about the outcome of that fight than Fabricio Verdum.
Jesus.
It's
That's a
over.
bad fucking loss.
There was a lot of clientele that got disappointed. They were betting on minus 300 guys that hadn't fought in 3.5 years, coming off steroid suspensions. But
That's how you just stay strapped, Wes.
you could
that's a strap bet.
you could have got hogged for minus 250, but why not take a 42-year-old steroid dude off a 3.5-year layoff?
Verdum's coming
Gets
back
beat by a
to
guy that has 70 fights in his career.
What is the really good at
Prelim main event: Pettis and Cerrone. Not sure what I thought about this one. I'll let you guys talk. Pettis got a 29-28 decision across the board.
I thought
fair.
Cerrone won, but I was a little biased. But it was close. I thought Cowboy looked pretty good in that fight, man. Physically, he looked way better than Pettis. God damn, is Pettis
Yeah, Pettis didn't look
ever
good.
He's never looked that bad. Like, that dude had fat hanging off the back and shit of his trunks. Like, it was bad.
Cowboy, well, I think for Pettis especially, like, this dude does not need to fight at 170 again. Like, he is not a 170 pounder. Like, Cowboy is a big 155 pounder, and like, he can go up to 170. He doesn't look undersized. Like, Pettis is just a fat piece of shit at 170. And I bet on Cowboy. I thought Cowboy looked okay. I thought he looked slow to me. I thought, and it could be because Pettis is a 155 pounder, if lower, but like, I thought Cowboy looked pretty slow. I scored that pretty easily for Pettis, honestly, and I bet on Cowboy. The announcers were seeing different things than me. I did not think that was a close fight on the feet, those first 2 rounds. I thought it was pretty wide.
The problem that is, I think it's very difficult to beat a fighter after you've already lost to them. I think there's even just from like a mental standpoint, after you get beat and he was KO'd in the first round, to actually go fight that guy again,
Like,
not easy.
That's why John Jones never gave Hamill the rematch.
Pettis thought he lost that fight after. Like, Pettis legitimately thought he lost that fight after.
I think he was concussed.
I don't think anyone really won the fight. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
It was close.
It was close, man.
There was no like. Did anyone really like? Oh wow! Like this guy really won this fight. No one.
Well, it wasn't a bad decision either way at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think the third round I thought was Cowboys, but I thought the first 2 rounds I thought Pettis did a little bit more, but it wasn't a blowout either way. I think the announcers were doing a bad job of acting like the striking at certain times was closer than it was. It was like Cowboy was missing stuff or throwing something half-hearted, and Pettis was hitting him pretty good. And I don't know. I thought the announcing was pretty bad in that fight, but it wasn't a blowout either way.
Yeah, I think they were just pushing the volume because Cerrone threw a shit ton more. He just missed a lot.
He wasn't hitting. Yeah. Pettis was landing.
They landed
hard.
the same. They landed the same amount, like 62 and 63 strikes. It's just Cerrone threw 148 and Pettis only threw 113.
And Pettis is hitting a lot harder.
The guy that throws more usually ends up winning.
Even though he missed, and he got a takedown, but I mean, it's not like he did much with him in the first and the second.
Yep.
Just a fight that happened, I guess. Nothing too crazy.
When I think about these guys, like even today, I don't think about this fight already.
Yeah, I don't.
It's kind of sad because at the time when the first one happened, this was pretty
big fight.
Big fight.
Yeah. But both of those dudes should be about done, but they won't be. Cowboy won't be done for a while, and he should be. He's done all he needs to do.
Yep.
He's fine.
Main card. We were all excited for Greg Hardy. Always a thing. And we saw him fight the heavyweight with the shortest arms in the
Baby arms,
T-Rex, baby.
That shit was hilarious, man.
At one point, I ran up to the screen and I measured my arm against his, and mine was longer.
I think that's possible.
And I'm 5'5".
I think that's possible. Honestly.
Like there was times when he was going into Hardy like throwing these big hooks, and Hardy would just have to barely lean back, dude, and they were whiffing. Like,
could Hardy be a fraud? Maybe. Is he being coached to just be more calculated? maybe. It's hard to tell at this point.
He's got decent defense.
I don't think Hardy's a fraud. I think he's gotten to a point to where he knows his place. He knows where he can get in the sport, and he's fighting smart, and that's not necessarily enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? Like we expect.
He's not taking too much damage.
I mean, let's be honest. If there was a fight on Saturday night, next Saturday they need someone to come in, you could fight again. He didn't take any damage in that fight.
I don't think the
leg kicks. That's about it.
I don't think he's a fraud at all, but I
think he's been hit a few times with cleats over the years. That probably hurts more, but let's move on.
Well, I think he was smart, man. Like he's coming off his first loss. He's fighting a pretty dangerous guy, not good, but a guy who hits pretty fucking hard.
And I
thought he fought really well. I thought his game plan made sense. I thought he was never in danger, and he needed a win. He got a win, and I thought Hardy looked great. I don't think Hardy's going to be, maybe a top 3 guy or anything like that, but Hardy can beat a lot of fucking guys just with how big he is and athletic he is, and I thought he looked better in this fight the other day than he has before. Just with he wasn't rushing things. He looked like almost the more technical, sound fighter in this matchup.
I'm sure Castro's been fighting a hell of a lot longer than he has.
Yeah. And Hardy's never going to get he's always going to be held to a different thing inside the cage. It's with everything outside of it. If Hardy's not completely killing guys, they want him killed either which way. Any other thing is not going to be acceptable when it comes to Hardy. That's just
he didn't have to push it. Like the guy Castro was doing dick all. Why would he try to force it and possibly get knocked out when the guy's doing nothing?
Little T-Rex range.
I thought it was a great, like Lance said, great game plan. He went there and got a win and fought smart. Didn't take a bit of damage and got a great price on him.
But now he's got a bunch of time to go back to the gym and improve even more and learn more shit. He's still gonna be like a top 5 heavyweight, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with Lance. I think I could see possibilities to where Hardy is one of the top 3 to 5 heavyweights out there. There is that possibility. I still see that. The guy's
it's so bad. Heavyweight's
it's
so
just
bad.
Yeah,
that's why
it's so bad. And Hardy is like 265-pound monster that is the best athlete in that division. I don't think there's any question about him probably being the best athlete in the heavyweight division. I mean, the dude was a fucking all-pro linebacker.
I mean, when you look at the top 3 right now, you got Stipe, DC, and Ngannou, Blades, not even close. But then you get to like an old JDS, Derek Lewis.
He could beat all of them.
I think knock him out.
He
on a
could beat
good
all of
night,
them.
he could beat them. Then we saw Volkov, who's ranked 7.
He's so much faster. Yeah, but Volkov's kind of like a different. Like he's just built. Like of all those guys you mentioned, Volkov fights totally different style. Like he's super technical. Like he's a distance fighter. There's not.
I mean, he's top 5 if fucking he's not an idiot against Derek Lewis. So I mean, Volkov's good too. I think the thing with Hardy, the one thing he has is like most like really green guys or these like kind of coming from a different sport to MMA. Usually its offense is so much farther ahead than their defense. And it seems like his defense is actually pretty good and caught up and now it's almost stifling his offense. But I mean, I think that offense is a lot easier to find for a lot of people than their defense. So at heavyweight,
like a fucking truck. You know?
So he's fighting Alexei Olenek next fight, right?
Oh god,
that's a sketchy fight though.
It's a ranked old man. Like that's perfect. Olenek's ranked 12th. He beats Olenek. He's ranked, and I think he could beat him.
I'd take him by decision there. I feel like a decision's coming because he's too scared of going to the ground with Olenek.
Let's not forget that Hardy's first MMA fight was less than 2 years ago, too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is wild. Yep.
He looked good.
When he explodes with the strikes, though, he's super fearful. Like I'm like, you're always like, whoa! Like you think it's gonna go down, like you always do. Like you don't think that was Ryan Spann.
No,
they all look like all.
That
MMA
was Hardy's
body,
first decision. That was his first decision ever, which is kind of crazy.
Well, I think when you look at Greg Hardy, the factor with the defense and guys are tentative. Just looking at that dude,
he's
like you look across the cage. This dude is every bit of probably like 275 when the cage door locks, and he's big and he's scary looking. He's got these fucking crazy eyes to just beat on some women. Like this dude don't fuck around. Like not only will you get beat up, but like hide your wife, hide
Your
your kid,
mama, your fucking wife.
your girlfriend.
They could give him Rosenstruck next. That would be interesting.
Rosenstruck.
I think that ends up being a boring fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Just because Rosenstruck's a good kickboxer,
I think
it could
you
turn into a
I think Hardy
slugfest.
wins, but I think it's kind of a boring fight.
I don't know. Like I think Hardy wins if he trains all camp, just fucking spamming takedowns because he's so athletic and he does have the football background. Like football
Yeah,
players
that's one thing he doesn't really use at all, which is crazy.
Yeah, I
You
think
figure
would
he could
think
tackle
too.
people to the ground. He doesn't have to be technical.
Well,
Spear
like
them.
really good football players. Usually their coaches made them wrestle after football season. Like we had like probably 15, 20 kids from the football team and the wrestling team. They'd come right in from football, keeps them in shape, makes them a little harder.
Lance, when you're at this level, like of football, like you might only be playing football. Like, why are you doing even other sports at that point? Like, I get it.
In high school, I'm saying, and
Well, we don't know. I forget how good he was in high school. Like,
yeah, well, he was obviously great. But what I'm not saying that he did wrestle. I'm saying football players make very good wrestlers because it's similar motions and similar attack.
Offensive line
You're
is
used
always
to getting down. You're used to changing levels and stuff like that, and using your hips. And there's a lot of similarities between like defensive tackling and wrestling. So that's what I was getting at. I wasn't saying Hardy wrestled in high school.
Hardy
He's only a
versus
three-star-
Sergey
look at
Pavlovich. I'm down.
Three-star prospect, ranked 30th among weak side defensive ends, 44 according to Scout. He was the number 5 player coming out of Tennessee. Yeah, the guy ran a 24-second 200-meter dash. I mean, at his size,
Jesus
that is
Christ.
and
Yeah.
a 28-inch vertical leap and a 4.8 40. I mean,
He's an athlete.
that's pretty fast given his huge size.
Yeah. He'll fight a ranked guy next. I mean, there's some really shitty ranked guys towards the end.
Yeah, they can
I
find
mean,
something.
I don't even know what the fuck a Sergey Pavlovich is.
Outside of
Like
that
a
top,
Russian knockout artist.
Dude,
outside of that
August-
top 4, he could beat any of those guys.
I think it's
Like straight
Olnink.
up.
It's Olnink or Augusto Sakai.
Augusto Sakai is the ranked.
What about Albini? Diaper him.
He's not ranked.
Is Diaper Baby even in the UFC anymore? I don't think so.
He should be on principle.
It's time for Hardy to get
Christ.
ranked. So you fight the worst ranked guy.
Yeah, but I don't know if
Augusto Sakai's
Olenek's
that
going to be
fighting
ranked.
guy, right?
But the new rankings are probably going to come out. Olenek's probably going to be out of after the loss. So, oh no, he won. So
Oleinik
he
won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't win. He didn't really win. He won on.
He was the 12th ranked guy. I'm pretty sure after a
The
win of
new-
a former champ, he's not going to drop
He didn't
out.
really win the fight though. He won on paper. We know.
So he's going to drop.
I know he's going. You're right. He's going to be ranked.
Did you watch the
All right, moving on.
fight? Come on.
Oh, on to more violence.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Usually, in this day and age, being
My boy.
overweight is usually a good thing. For Jeremy Stevens, though, tough fight. Calvin Kattar came to play
The goods.
and did something that Jeremy Stevens I don't think's really ever had to deal with, being KO'd. This was big time.
That was a good fight. That was a fun
Good.
fight. While it
Yeah,
lasted.
Jeremy was doing good in the first.
Yeah.
Jeremy won the first.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
I think it just took a little time for Cato to settle in because Steven's pressure was working. It was really good, man. He was coming forward. Man, Cater is the goods. That guy is really fucking good. His boxing is up there with some of maybe the best in that division and some of the best in the entire sport. His hands are just absolutely ridiculous. I had boxing guys on my timeline that were watching the fights Saturday because nothing else is going on that were just like raving about his hands. And I'm like, been seeing it for a couple years now, man. That guy's really fucking good. Really good.
He still gets hit too much. He still gets hit a lot. Usually, it's funny. Usually, when guys are like very technical boxing, they usually have more technical defense. But he gets hit. But man, he hits hard, and like that was a good comeback. I mean, Heathen had him in some trouble early on, and he was pressuring, and I think he's so technical, and you can just see it like as the fight unwinds. You can see him taking over, and crazy thing is Jeremy Stevens broke his nose on that last punch.
on the last combo that he got,
Yeah, like they were hitting
smashed.
each other. He broke his. So who knows what would have happened if that wasn't like that was a crazy fight. That was a fun fight while it lasted.
That elbow was ridiculous.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even see what happened on live. I was like, what the fuck was that? Just like a short punch, and then like the replay came, and I was like, God damn, that was nasty. You don't see those very often.
Somebody in the chat is offering up a murder Nagano versus Olynyk.
Oh, dude,
God.
Olynyk chokes him out,
Jesus.
dude. You
I'm
kidding
not
me?
advocating crime here. I can go
I
to
got
jail.
Elder
for that.
abuse.
I got Olynyk minus 150 there. I think he'd
Does he
expose
choke
him.
Nagano? I mean, Nagano can be taken down. We know that.
He'd expose
Never
him.
know. All right. Well, speaking of Nagano against Rosenstruck, there was a little bit of chatter on the interwebs for Rosenstruck. Definitely not from this podcast.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the hog. The hog is
I didn't-
definitely
Hog's
a
got
friend of
some
the
hate
show.
for some reason, man. There's still people that's not. All,
They
all
still
I'm
remember
reading
the
out
Derek
now-
Lewis fight.
Derek Lewis whooped his
I mean,
ass.
that-
Yeah,
that-
we
that
saw
was
it. We
just-
gotta move
that was
on.
just- we all know that was a mindset more than
Yeah,
anything, man.
be careful what you ask for. Rosenstruck asked for this fight, and Ngannou gave it to him. Holy fuck!
That didn't take very long.
And that now all I'm seeing is how Ngannou can't strike and shit because he threw some wild
Yeah,
shit.
he was
this time.
sloppy.
And,
It's like,
yeah, it's like,
Who cares?
who cares? Yeah, who cares? That he landed one and dead. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, so many extra shots. So many extra. So many. And
The cage was holding him up, and he was just teeing
Yeah.
off on him.
the dude
was
with the most
nasty.
power in UFC history landed 3 shots to an unconscious fighter. Like, that was some scary shit. Like, I thought he was dead
Yeah.
for a second.
yeah, it was bad, man. And then the photo of fucking Big Dan like holding old boy, like picking him up. It was so bad looking,
That was
man.
bad.
Hog needs to, like, I still don't get how he gets some of the hate that he does, man. Like, there really is some people don't believe it. They don't believe it, man. The dude
He's a
was
big
fighting.
favorite.
He was fighting title fights like really early, like really fucking early, man. He lost to Stipe and shit, but that fight might go a little different now, man.
I think
It
a lot
might.
of people believe that.
I
I,
mean,
don't know.
Stipe-
Anyone
Stipe's
I've
old.
talked to believes Hog beats Stipe. Like, people just do. Like, I don't even know. I think it's just now, like, the physical attributes, people are just like, so if you're into Hog, that's it. You just believe in them.
I mean, some people will say
Are
like
you into Hog, Jay?
he hasn't proved anything since, but I mean,
What?
he has been
Yeah,
training.
bro. People slobber over Blades, like they slobber over that dude.
He's
like
awesome too.
and he destroyed, but he is awesome, and Hog destroyed him. That's what I'm
Twice.
saying. It
Twice.
still can't get no love. I like Blades a lot. I think he's really fucking good. He's a top 5 heavyweight in the
Top
fucking
3.
in the world, and Hog destroyed him, like fucking murdered him.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I think Hog did well with Stipe's like takedowns and his wrestling in a couple rounds. He got tired. I'm not sure that happens again next time. You better hope. You know,
How shitty
everybody
is
better
it?
hope it does.
How shitty is it that the fucking heavyweight division is just on hold? Like, imagine if
I know.
Stipe, like if Cormier wasn't a thing and fucking Hog just did that and Stipe was actually gonna fight, like you'd be so hyped. Instead, we're
and
gonna
now
see a
they're-
trilogy
and now-
of fucking Stipe and DC maybe
No one-
in
no one
a couple
wants to-
months.
Oh, now they're talking. They're going to probably strip him, and DC
They ain't gonna
saying he
strip
wants
him.
the money.
Of course they will.
It'd be a
Dude,
bad. It'd be a bad look if they did.
I've been wanting to see
Strip
Daniel and the Hog
They
for a
would.
while. I don't think Daniel wants any piece of the Hog. To be honest,
I
with
don't
you.
want
I
to
don't-
see that fight.
I don't want to
That
see that
scares me.
fight.
Yeah, I don't either.
DC's
man.
just there's zero upside to that fight really because DC if he just wrestle fucks him he wins and then he's gonna retire. Like
And that
I mean,
sets
that's-
Hog back again to where he's got to win a couple more fights again. That guy needs a title shot. It should be
I
him
agree.
and Stipe. Hands
supposedly Stipe said that they're starting to open some shit up and he's
Just
finding a training facility so he's good to go.
Just cut Stipe. Just cut it.
down. Get rid of this motherfucker.
Derek Lewis
Hey,
versus
first time
Ngannou
they
rematch for the
heavyweight
belt.
champion.
What's that, Brad?
Derek Lewis versus Ngannou, because Ngannou's got to get through Lewis to get the strap. So I think
Let's
fight.
just
Cut
imagine that
DC.
didn't even happen.
Cut
Who
Stipe.
cares?
you do Derek Lewis versus Ngannou for the belt. That's the fair move. But let's talk through these next two quick because we've been talking about this recaps for a while.
I mean, the fight card's not that great. We're the next one. We'll probably be going through it somewhat.
Well,
quick, so.
when Dom dies, I want his tombstone to say beer and cigarettes. I mean,
What an idiot, dude.
Yeah.
Henry Cejudo,
Yeah, what a
Tom
fucking
Cruise.
idiot.
Henry Cejudo wins by stoppage. He did drop him pretty badly. Definitely some question marks about the time when he. Okay, But Cejudo dominated the fight, in my opinion, and he was gonna win anyway. I don't think there's any
That was
question.
not a bad stop. Like
It's not a bad stoppage, but I like in fucking championship fights with
The
a
way he
guy
went
that's
down.
never gonna get another fucking title shot.
Don't give
Just
a
let
shit.
it go limp. Who gives a fuck?
I mean, I guess the flip
That's
side
the one.
is,
That's
like,
the one thing boxing does better.
Since
Don't
I
let
railed
shit
on-
go
Yeah,
for big
I railed
fights.
on the
You
topic,
can't say
too.
boxing does that better when how many boxers have died after fucking fights? Like, you can't say boxing's better at stoppages.
Not
'Cause
any
they get a lot
not
of
any
murder.
championship ones. Not any big fights.
Well, it's easy to do that because when
People
you fall
die.
down, when you go down in boxing, you can't go follow them on the mat. It's like, well, okay, here's your chance to get up.
Boxing's
I mean,
easy.
I
to
think
take, yeah.
I think the bigger point is like you got to know what the situation is and how big of the moment is more than anything. And a guy like that deserve in boxing they give that guy his chance. They don't
And then
take
he
it away from him.
dies.
Like,
Two more seconds,
there's
dude.
not-
And he gets
there's
a
not-
brain bleed.
there's never been a death like that in fucking 50 years in a big title fight. Never like that.
And Cruz had never been finished by strikes either. Like it's
And I
not
get-
like he takes a fuck ton of damage.
Like after rewatching it, like I'm not as upset with the stoppage. Like
Also,
not as
really
upset as
sad. I'm not
Like,
as upset with the stoppage.
I mean, he did take the shots that warranted a stoppage. I just, in my opinion, watching fights, the thousands of fights that I've watched in years and years and years, you don't take that moment away from a guy that is still he's getting to his knees and trying to get up. Yes, he's taking under. There's seconds left. There is seconds left, and he's not.
No, Herb lets that shit go. He wants
he's
blood.
not-
Oh, he does.
He's not badly hurt to where it looks to me like he's so fucking hurt that something bad could happen to him if it's not stopped then and there. I don't agree with that at all, but it's not a horrible stoppage like I thought it was after
I
watching
think like it's easy when you watch replays and stuff with bad stoppages, but like he wasn't really getting up until Keith was already.
No, he
going
took a
in.
lot before he started to move.
Like he got that huge knee. He was down. There was about 10 or 12 shots. As
The
soon as
knee
Keith
was
went to
ridiculous.
step in, that's when he started getting up. Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
wasn't
I get it. I get it.
Like, in Keith's
Yeah.
eyes, what he sees, Dominic wasn't standing up. He hadn't even based up yet. When he went in to stop it, that's exactly when Dom started basting up. And he took about 12 straight shots to the face after a huge knee and a fight that he had already been getting his ass kicked for 10 minutes. Like,
But see,
that was
like
a wrap.
also my point is he did take like 10 unanswered shots, but he took all those and wasn't laid out. So he could have
Yeah.
been like completely so fucked up to where not one of those pity pat shots that he got hit with laid him out
It
completely.
looked like his eyes
And there-
rolled back on that big shot that put him.
Oh,
on
the big shot did, but then he
Yeah,
fucking woke up again.
The big knee and shit was absolutely ridiculous. And like Cejudo, like I get all credit to the guy, even though I think now he's kind of like, I don't like if he quits now, it kind of is a little bad look to me to where you called out, you called out Otto, you beat up a fucking commentator, been out for 3 years, and you ducked the best in the division.
Yeah, and then you claim you beat the best flyweight and best bantamweight ever. It's perfect.
I get Brad's thinking he's the wrestling guy, so I get it. I know
Cejudo's controlling for years now. Brad really understands the troll game from Cejudo. It's actually been pretty masterful.
it's a hell of a performance coming off of. I
I'm
want to
not
see the
talking
guy
about
fight.
the fighting. I'm talking about
I
just
know.
his little path.
I get the trolling.
His
It
whole
is-
past couple
it is
years.
trolling. He's not.
Very
he's
good.
not- He's not retiring. There's no. He's not going to retire. He wants money. It's a contract negotiation.
You guys see that picture he put out there today? With the
Yeah.
belt
On
and the
the
faces?
bed, yeah, with the belts.
Pretty good. Pretty
It's
good.
just whether does Dana think he's that big of a draw to fucking pay up what Cejudo wants? That's what it comes down to. So
If he-
Cejudo might be done because they're
If he
fucking
can knock
cheap.
guys- if he can knock guys out like that and look like that,
taking
then,
no damage. What's the difference if he fights anymore? I mean, if he
Um,
keep fighting.
I will say Aljo and Jan will do bad things to Cejudo. I think Aljo does bad things to Cejudo. Really,
Well,
bad.
no,
Aljo's
man.
not going to hurt him with his
By
hand.
anybody at this
Yeah,
point.
like
Jan would.
I don't know how Aljo. I think it'd be interesting, but like Aljo's
How
not going to
Aljo
beat him on
kicks
the
the
feet.
shit out of him. Shit, Aljo kicks the shit out of him, dude.
Like I could see Cejudo just picking Aldo up over his head and just slamming him down like 77
Aldo,
times. whenever the fuck he
yeah, I'd
pleases.
say Aljo.
Aljo is a pretty big
Oh, I'm saying
fucking bantamweight too.
Aljo. Yeah, but he
No.
doesn't know how to wrestle.
Yeah, he couldn't do that
He's
to
not a
Aldo.
wrestler.
Aldo's takedown defense too good.
Yeah, Aldo will be harder to take down than Aljo. That's for damn
Yeah,
sure.
I agree
Even
there,
at
but
this
he ain't gonna rush in and just. And when does Cejudo even wrestle anymore? Like literally, we keep saying that.
when he,
Cejudo,
when he feels like it.
nah.
Yep.
Man,
Aljo-
Sandhagen might fuck
And
up
if he gets in
Cejudo.
there with Peter
I
Pan,
don't
he'll
even know
take
who
the
that is.
belt.
That's not even a real.
Jan's a
you talking
different
about-
test.
You talking about
I
Cody
think,
Sandhagen?
I think Cejudo's got a better. I think Cejudo's got a better shot against Peter Yan than he does Aljo. Aljo is a nightmare matchup for anybody in that division. I think he's the best guy in the division at this
He's
point.
fucking big too.
Yep,
We
he's
see
huge.
how much Wes likes him. That's for sure.
I think so.
Wes likes those abs, that fucking 10-pack that Aljo's
I
rocking.
like Aljo. Don't get me wrong. I'm an Aljo guy. I love him, but man, I can't. I
he's
feel
Nice
like
guy. Met him
nightmare
before. Nice
matchup.
guy. We met him in Newark, didn't we, Wes? I think we did.
And
Until
eventually that size differential for Cejudo against these guys is gonna fucking catch up when you're not fighting fucking commentators and shit that's been out for 3 years.
I don't know, man. So
Maybe when he
good.
fights somebody that's on his athletic
He's
level.
got so much better.
He's so
I mean,
good.
I fucking hate the dude, but
Oh, yeah. Yes, Cejudo is fucking great, man.
Yeah,
it was kind of weird because he was so hyped up coming into MMA, and then he had like
He
weight
was a disappointment early on.
issues.
Well, he got
Didn't
robbed.
give a
against,
fuck.
he got
and
robbed
then,
against Benavidez. That's the truth.
But I'd
But
also
before that,
I
like
still
back when
think
he was
that he
missing
got a
weight
robbery
all the
against
time
DJ.
on Legacy and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I thought the dude was completely gonna flame out in MMA,
yeah,
and
just didn't give a
and
fuck.
came into the UFC and finally got focused. And for
But
like
nothing
5
like this,
years
though.
there, he was incredible.
Yo,
But even nothing
he's
like
great.
this. Like he looked good in his early UFC career. I mean, he got a fight with DJ, but like nothing like what he's doing now.
It really
man.
wasn't until that
Nobody-
Benavidez fight that he started to look great.
Yeah,
At this point, nobody beats that guy at 125. I mean, nobody. I don't know a guy that would beat him at 125. I just think there's such skilled guys at 135 that physical advantages are going to start playing out eventually when you're fighting those top guys. And he's got some physical disadvantages up at 135. He's still a small fucking short guy.
we'll see
we're
if it
never
ever
gonna know.
happens. He might be done.
He's
He might be-
retired.
Yeah, he's retired. I don't want to talk
Yeah.
anymore about a retired fighter.
Yeah, let's move to the main event.
Let's move to the
Yeah.
main event. Lightweight.
Biggest.
Lightweight.
Where you
interim
at,
title.
Jeremy? Where you at, Jeremy?
Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson, and this one really came down to one guy hit a lot harder than the other, and I think it paid it really yay that
That
Yes.
wasn't the only thing.
Not a fucking chance.
It was everything. Gage is a better fighter. I mean,
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
clear. Like if they fight 10 times, that's 10 Gaethje wins. Like that was man
This
versus
fight-
boy.
This version of Gaethje, he beats Ferguson every
And
single
this,
time.
this
man.
version of Ferguson, like we talked about it last week, but like motherfucker's 37.
yeah, the
Yep.
age,
Yeah.
the age adds up.
He looked old too, man. He
Yeah.
looked slow. He looked timid. He wasn't throwing the shit that he usually throws. But besides that, man, I said it that night. This is one of the greatest title performances that I've ever watched.
Ever.
And,
Just
and UFC
performance in
history.
general.
Well, Dillashaw against Barrow.
Yeah, that's the one it reminded me of, the Dillashaw or the Garbrandt against Cruz. That that was kind of close to the same. Like it wasn't that big of an underdog, but like the performance he put on, like nobody really thought he could see
how he
that.
did
We did it.
I just think this is even beyond that because of who he was fighting and the win streaks of both of these. It's just that was incredible, man.
It wasn't the most shocking, but it was one of the most impressive because it was bell to bell. A dude who didn't lose. I think to me the Dillashaw Barrow fight eclipses this to me because you got to think of what's like. There was a lot of question mark going in this fight too, right? Like Tony's old, he hasn't fought a lot. Gaethje hits hard, like. It wasn't far fetched. That fucking Dillashaw fight, no one gave him a shot in the
because
fucking
Barrow
mouth.
was considered a
It was
top
minus
three-
900.
Barrow was
It
like
was
the
bell
top
to
3
bell.
fighter in the world at that point.
Yeah,
I think it's like Dillashaw and then RDA against Pettis and then this performance.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
that's
a good one.
That's good fucking company.
Yeah,
man.
those are some good
I
ones.
was kind of I was a little shocked watching. I mean, I had a ton on Gaethje, and I thought he was going to win, but watching how
Not like this.
that was just impressive. Like this version of Gaethje, I mean, man, just think all the wars this guy's had, and we were thinking, man, he's taking some damage. This shit's going to start adding up. And somehow he changes his game up. A lot of credit to Trevor Whitman, man. I mean, that guy's coached two kind of, fringe, knew they were kind of good fighters to titles now with Rose is a little different, but that's a whole nother situation. These guys, but man, that was just to make Tony like pretty much have to give up at the end there. Like
His body gave out.
Yeah, he just couldn't take no more. That was fucking impressive, man. All time great performance.
I think there was two things to me about this fight. Like besides Tony looking old and a little bit slower, and you mentioned Whitman, but like I thought the coaching was a huge factor.
Oh, yeah, one's got Eddie Bravo.
Yeah, one's got Eddie Bravo, one's got Trevor Whitman.
Telling this motherfucker to do Granby rolls when he's in the fourth round, getting
talking about Tower 7.
And you know what I think changed really quick in this fight? In the first round, Tony got hit by Gaethje and felt that power early didn't do his crazy shit. He didn't do his dive-in elbows and his funky shit. I think he got hit clean once for Gaethje and was like,
oh,
this dude hit hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't want to do a spinning back fist and get hit by this motherfucker. And all the creativity that makes Tony so great, I think just the fear of the power in Gaethje's hands, it changed the fight instantly. That wasn't the Tony Ferguson we've seen. That was Tony Ferguson who got hit by a bad motherfucker real quick and knew he didn't want to fuck around.
Yeah, and we kind of capped it like that. I mean, I think all of us thought that was going to be the difference in the fight was Gaethje's punching power. There's still always, I thought there's always a worry with Gaethje's kind of chin though, and he changed, man. He's literally changed his style, and it's so impressive. And he got hit though. He took shots in that fight, man, and
the key beyond the power to me was the fact that he just didn't run at like 1,000 miles an hour from the open bell. That's really the difference. Like
he paced himself.
The pace was key. Because the way you have to fight Tony for that time is that you're going to have to. Like Tony, even slower, can still put on a pretty relentless pace, and he did in this fight. I mean, it was consistent for 22 minutes of the fight until
getting punched in the face.
See the video of Whitman in the corner where he got tagged at the end of like the second round.
Yeah, that was bad.
And Whitman's like, what did we talk about? About, every time you get wild, he's like, you get knocked hit. And Gaethje looked at him like, I've been knocked out twice doing that. Pretty much knew, even in the moment of the fight, that, hold up, I need to draw it back a little bit. I need to get back into my game plan. And he walked back out there and did it and just looked absolutely amazing.
That was some Rocky type shit with those two uppercuts. Both of them just fucking
dude.
winding up from fucking way back.
Tony was, I mean, as much damage and stuff as he was taking, he landed some stuff, man. The guy stayed in that fight. He made it a classic fight.
He's a tough dude. Fight. I'll say this before like enough for me on this fight, but like the second round scoring was not talked about enough. Two judges scored that second round for Tony Ferguson when he lost 4 minutes and 57 seconds of it.
That's damage.
Always hard,
damage.
Dude, JT hurt him and hit him like 50 times. Tony landed one punch.
It was a big one.
Second round.
That was a big punch, man.
He lost 4 minutes and 57 seconds of a round. Landed an uppercut at the buzzer, which Gaethje immediately stood up from, and they gave him the round.
And not just like 4 minutes and 55 seconds of dancing around and landed a little bit. Beat him down badly for 4 minutes and 55 seconds, and then lost the round because he got a flash drop. I don't agree with that either. That's bad.
That was bad.
Now, after talking that, can we talk about how my opinions even changed more after this fight? I think Gaethje is a really bad matchup for Khabib. I used to think it was Tony, but Tony seems old and shit now. He really does. You can get old in one fight. I used to think Gaethje was a kind of a decent matchup for Khabib. Now I'm thinking he might be a bad matchup for this version of Gaethje is a bad matchup for Khabib.
I think the difference between those two is Tony would accept the bottom. I don't think Gaethje would accept that. Like he is getting back to his feet. That is the fucking plan, so that he can knock Khabib out.
Can he take him down? Can Khabib take him down when Gaethje is using his jab like that? Like his jab was insane.
The irony is they're going to make McNutty and Gaethje next. Just watch.
No fucking way.
Just watch it.
I want them to. Yeah. Why not?
Because if they do that fight now, there's more of a chance that we see Gaethje Khabib later on. It's more likely to beat McGregor than he is.
I worry that fucking Conor catches him though.
Yep, Conor's got a chance. That's he really.
How great is that fight? Like that would be just as fucking nuts as the fight we just watched, dude.
We can have that one after Khabib. when
Like,
fucking
Hunter-
Gaethje beats him.
I think they're going to push.
than Gaethje has.
I think they're going to push the McNutty-Abib fight.
I
the
want-
McNutty
I want-
and
I
Gaethje.
want
Fight. I really do.
I want Gaethje to get his shot. Like I could looking at that guy after that fight, and it was hard to watch a guy beat a champ and literally not even be able to celebrate in his own mind because he doesn't think that he didn't beat the actual champ. Like he threw the belt down. You watch that interview, and he just pretty much doesn't celebrate one bit. Doesn't have a smile on his face. Literally starts taking the tape off of his gloves, talking about that's not
That
the
was the
real
number one
fight.
contender fight for him.
The guy's he's a
it
mad
was,
man.
though. I mean, in reality, it was the number one contender. This interim bullshit, like
Yeah, they just do it to get paid more. I mean, it works for me.
what?
Gaethje gets a shit ton of more money now
really to
because he has a belt going
to
into the
market
next
it.
fight.
Yeah.
Apparently, the fight card did 700,000 pay-per-view buys allegedly.
that's
So,
crazy.
yeah, there's money. Someone was interested.
Yeah, like fucking like 48 million, and that's it was 700K plus. That thing did like 50 million.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's not
That's
bad
what
in this
Dana
day and
White
age.
All right, let's break down more fights because
So we go from Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson
Jesus.
to the return of Chase Sherman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
the Jacare positive COVID test literally did nothing to affect any of the scheduling. Half the people
That's
are like,
Florida,
yeah,
baby.
Good job. Florida man says this is good. Let's fucking roll. And
Because all those after tests,
Well, we
all
don't.
those after tests,
Yeah,
Yeah.
where are those results of those
Let's see
after?
how those
We
go.
haven't
Don't
seen
worry
them.
about it.
they're gonna come out. They're gonna come out eventually.
They're
No, they
gonna
won't.
they're gonna end up in a chest outside of Key West or something. They're gonna be
Buried off the coast
on the
of Long
ocean.
Island.
They're with Jimmy Hoffa.
They're underneath whatever stadium the
Meadowlands?
Jaguars playing. No, screw that. They're buried under there.
Yeah.
Chase Sherman and Isaac Villanueva. Oof.
Good
We
fight.
started off with sloppy fatties, though. I guess it's not a terrible way to start a fight card.
We can break down all of these fights quickly.
Yep.
Who should we start with?
Go Lance.
Lance,
Go
really?
ahead, Lance. Break his shit
Or
down.
New Sean?
We know you. We know you.
Fuck,
like
I got
down
nothing on this fight.
All right, Lance, you have anything here?
Yeah, I'm thinking about actually playing
Sherman, are you?
Sherman. That is his name, the White Gorilla.
The Vanilla Gorilla.
Same thing.
Lance, get it right.
Yeah, racist.
Yeah. This dude he's fighting has been facing like regional middleweights, and now it's Sherman who's a heavyweight, and he's not good. We know that, but he got some wins in the UFC. He's a big dude. He's like a 250-pound dude, and he's facing a middleweight who's been fucking around the regional circuit, and he's only minus 150. I'm thinking about taking a stab here.
Brad.
Sherman's been fucking around on the shitty regional circuit as well.
UFC though, he fought in the UFC.
He's been
And he
looking.
got beat
He's
by
been looking
anybody with a
shit.
fucking pulse.
He got
That's
beat
true.
by ranked
I mean-
Augusto Sakai. So
Oh.
let's not disparage the man too much.
He only lost
okay?
to ranked guys like Sakai.
Sherman was looking like fucking garbage in bare knuckle
Just
boxing.
Rashad
Like I
Coulter,
will
too.
get. I mean, Venezuela. I mean, this guy at least beat a couple ex-UFC guys in the first round in his past two fights in Coulter
That's true.
and
He did.
Roger Navarez.
Yep.
He's actually fought the better competition than Chase Sherman has fought over the past year and a half. So I'm going to take a sprinkle on the dog here myself.
Smart. Brad.
I mean, everything's starting to come together for Chase Sherman. He came up in Island Fights, the Island Fights promotion.
But this fight's not on the island.
He's
If
about
this
to
was
win
on the island,
He's about to go to the island with Greg Hardy. He's who else is on the island with Greg Hardy? Rumble's out
Rumble,
there.
yep.
War
It's gonna be
Machine.
fun for Chase Sherman after he wins the fight.
the next up
Is
of,
Fedor's
women's-
brother
the
getting
next-
extradited
the next
to fight
task of the
Island?
women's cup
He
season.
might be. But
Extradition.
I actually know, like, I don't know him, but I have actually seen this guy fight, the Ike Villanueva, like a decade ago in Legacy, and he sucked then. So there's no chance he wins the fight in the UFC in 2020.
New Sean.
But Brad, are we gonna get fat though? Are we gonna get fatty?
Yes, absolutely.
All you care about.
Yeah,
100%.
I don't give two rats about this fucking fight. Bet fatties and cheer for fattiness. That's what I would do.
I got Sherman an F, Villanueva a D-. Everything about Sherman is that he has the least amount of power, of any heavyweight. He is pitter patter. He's got very little power, pitter patter.
And that's why you bet the
slow,
over,
he's
Jack.
hittable. I'll play Villanueva. I'll take him the dog. I don't care.
Worst
All right.
power at heavyweight. My dude's got 12 knockouts in 13 fights.
Next fight, bantamweight, Brian Kelleher taking on Hunter, Italian blue shirts. Yeah.
What?
The Azore
That was a soccer thing.
reference. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's fine.
It wasn't good.
I don't
what's good
remember
about
Azore.
when Jim starts going on and on about the same fight? I can actually like see myself tune out.
Oh, that's fucked up, Brad.
What are we talking about?
Hunter Azure. Is it Azure or Azure?
Or Azore.
That's not
He's
it.
from fucking Montana, so I feel like it's not that fancy.
So Azure?
No,
Sure.
there's no accent.
That was
Azer. It's
Azer.
fucking Azer.
Izer. Hunter Izer. So I like him here, but I don't think I like him enough to play him. I think, Brian Kelleher is just a little bit dangerous where you don't want to go against him unless we know you're pretty decent. Like, he can catch guys in chokes. He's got good chokes. He's a little bit crazy. And I think this is kind of the perfect next step for Azure. He looked really good on Contender Series. He looks the part. He's got some good wrestling, but I don't know. I have a worry here that he wrestles him right into a guillotine, and he gets choked out here. So I'm going to pass here. But I was thinking about this one.
All right.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with about everything Lance said, but I lean more. I lean more Kelleher and getting him in that bad spot. I'm still not sold on as you sauce or however the fuck we want to pronounce this fucker's guy's name. But yeah, I'm still not sold. He's got a couple okay wins, but just kind of grinding, laying on a guy wins and shit. And like Lance said, Kelleher is that guy that can catch you in a quick choke, could land something big. I've made some okay money on Kelleher, so. If I play anything, it'll be a sprinkle on the dog in this spot.
Okay. Brad?
I got nothing here. I've
think
never seen this guy fight, so I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about on this.
Come on, Brad. You didn't see him get a unanimous decision against Brad Katona, the hyped up Canadian that defected to fucking Ireland?
Fellow Canadian Brad.
Sadly, I missed that one.
Oh. Brad Katona, that was a pretty big failure in the UFC. That was quite enjoyable for me.
That was a nice fade. That was a nice fade.
Yeah. I went big on Mr. Azure in his first fight.
Yep.
Nice.
I did too.
Yeah, I don't have much in this fight. I think the dog is probably the way to go. Maybe look at Kelleher by sub or something like that, like Lance was talking about. But I don't want any part of this fight.
Yeah, I got Azor.
Plus 475. Boom boom by sub.
Azor plus D plus, Kelleher C minus. I kind of like Kelleher. He's a sneaky little fighter. I do. Fights out a pretty good camp out in Long Island. I kind of like the sub idea too. I think he's pretty crafty there. Good guillotine. 475 is a decent number. All right. What do we got next? Shoot, I don't even know anymore. Let's see. Gabriel Benitez has taken on a man. How many first names here, Brad?
I don't know. I don't speak other languages.
Omar Antonio Morales Ferrer.
God damn.
I didn't know who this was, but now it makes sense that he's a pretty big favorite versus my boy Moogly.
Moogly. All right.
Yeah. I'm not betting this one for sure. I was looking at Moogly just because he was underdog and he's okay. And then I look at this dude's picture and Jax. I mean, this dude is shredded.
Lance got memorized by those abs on Sherdog.
Also 34. This picture is from 2005.
Oh, yeah, That is a good point, though, because that's not a picture of a 34-year-old man. And that looks like a young little Phil Baroni, little New York badass action. Maybe the, where's this guy from?
He's got
Venezuelan.
Half the
Phil
piece,
Brody
though.
definitely spent some time in Venezuela when he was
The
younger.
Caracas badass.
Phil Baroni
Omar,
already left for Fight
Antonio,
Island.
Morales, Ferrer. I mean, yeah. I'm passing this one, but I'm going to take the Jack dude who looks like a Venezuelan Baroni. You think he's got a big piece?
Possibly.
I don't know. Morales is like 30. He's like one of those
34.
One of the dozen mid 30 fucking prospects.
The contender series, the 34-year-old contender.
He's
I don't
not
remember
that
his
good.
fight.
He's not
You guys
that
remember his
good,
fight?
man.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, barely. I remember the Ma fight. And he's going to try to get Benitez is the much better fighter here. This Morales guy is big and could get him down and lay on him. I don't think so, man. I think Benitez is crafty enough to keep this on the feet, and he's got way better hands. I'm going to sprinkle on another dog here. I'll take some Benitez.
You know what's weird? I've seen this 4-name guy fight twice. I've definitely seen him fight twice. Like,
You don't remember him at all. Couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
no recognition. Don't know his name. Don't know his like the Baroni stuff.
You have to look
He's
at
got
him.
like seven. He's got like 17 names. Just throw one out there. You'll probably get it.
I mean, he went to decision with with Little Dong, so that's.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be able to finish that guy.
Everyone's got a little dog.
Like, this dude fought on the Frankie Edgar Korean Zombie card. That was not that long ago. I have no recollection of this fella. None.
That's old age, Lance. That's old age. What you got, Brad? Anything?
On this one, in that I don't recognize this guy at all. That said, I am still going to bet on Benitez in this fight.
Do I need to bet Benitez?
He's not terrible. Benitez isn't terrible, and this guy hasn't fought anybody. Like, he fought the shittiest dude in the UFC,
Shittiest
and
dog.
the shittiest dude on Contender Series, and nobody before that in his career.
Dunk Young Ma.
He's a 34. He's a
lawyer from Batman.
He's a fucking 34-year-old prospect.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look at this.
This line doesn't make sense to me at all. So I'm betting Benitez, even though I fully admit I have never seen the other guy fight.
Dude, look at Harvey Park. Look up his record. It's
I'll pass.
fucking tremendous. It's tremendous.
Yeah.
Ma's like 16-10 and like shitty as hell.
I'm picking Benitez, but I'm not betting him.
We're all betting. No, we're betting it. It's in.
I'm not betting it. Fuck that. I'm out. I've seen him lose. I guess he really only loses to decent guys, but I don't know. Those abs are scaring me away from betting the underdog.
I got
that Photoshop from 2004, Sean.
That's catfishing, baby. It's got me. It's fine. I'm cool with it.
Benitez D+, Ferrer D. Benitez is like one of the best fighters from that tough Latin America season. He's actually pretty skilled. I think he wins here. He's just better fighter, better competition. He's also only 31. I think people think he's like 37, but he's actually way younger than most people think. So,
it's 155 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good price. I'm kind of thinking like you take these 3 fights, the first 3 fights on this card, you play all the other dogs, you probably end up ahead. You probably get 2 out of 3. You're probably going to get 2 out of 3.
Let's do it.
Got it.
Make bets so many things.
This is Lance break of the cards. Sajara Eubanks taking on Sarah more ass, and every time we see her fight, there's more ass.
No, why don't we just skip it? Wait, no, let's go. It's
goes to decision. Put it in a parlay. Do it.
Yeah. Eubanks. I'm Victor breakdown. I go to the Fight Picks podcast.
15 minutes, and there you go. Done.
Should Eubanks be like this big of a favorite after losing?
Doesn't matter.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. But do you really want to have your money on Sarah Moras?
I don't want my money anywhere near this shit.
Exactly. So just put Ghost Decision in a parlay.
You don't want to know.
And we just talked about how we're betting Benitez, even though we've never seen the guy.
Yeah, but I still don't want no part of this shit.
The other guy's in the CIA.
Lightweight, Michael
He hides in
Johnson
plain sight.
taking on Thiago Moises.
I
Michael
don't like
Johnson
going
going
first,
back to
by the way.
lightweight.
Just for future reference.
You
this
used
is
to
the
go
last
first
time
all
I'm
the
going first.
time.
No, I was the host, and I used to announce the fights better than you. And then I used to pass it along, and then I would finish off with the recap with my breakdown.
You lost that right.
I can go first. I'm just
Thank you.
I think Michael Johnson is probably at one point was a more skilled fighter between these two, but I think the guy's about done, man. That losing to Stevie Ray, just not a good look at this point in his
Not a
career.
good loss.
Man, he's got a million miles on his tires at this point, dude. He's been into so many fights, so many wars. I don't think much of Thiago Moises. I don't think he's great or anything. But 24 years old, he's got to be improving. And I just think Michael Johnson is who he is now, and he's got too many miles on tires. I haven't played Moises. He's definitely going to be my pick in this fight. If the line creeps up anymore, I'll probably take a small shot, but definitely going to be my pick.
Lance, I think you can go second, right? Well, you want to go fourth?
No, I'll go. It's fine. I just don't go first because I black out when you're talking, and I forget. I don't. When you say Lance, break this down, or you don't say my name, I don't even know what fight it is.
You got fucking ADD or ADHD there, Lance.
Yeah, like the first fight.
He's already going to sleep. It's past his bedtime.
Like the first fight, Jay was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "What fight is this?" And I started googling shit. I just don't pay attention enough to go first. It can't happen.
So what you got between Michael Johnson and Thiago Moises?
I like my dude MJ here. I think he's gonna box his face.
All right,
off.
enough from Lance. He doesn't know what's going on. Brad, go on. Stop talking. Seriously, stop talking. Move on.
Brad's going with
At
me
some
here.
point, Thiago Moises gets this to the ground, and I don't think it goes well for Michael Johnson once he gets down there. And even on the feet, like Michael Johnson, nothing to write home about these days, and Moises isn't too bad, so it's going to be pretty even there. But eventually, he gets to the floor, and Moises wraps him up, I think.
New Sean.
Yeah, I don't want to touch this fight at all either. I do agree with Brad, though. I think Moises gets the takedowns. I don't know if he gets a finish, but Michael Johnson has terrible takedown defense, and that loss against Stevie Ray, who is pretty fucking shot himself, is not a good look at all
fight.
going into this
that was
fight.
A horrible decision. Horrible decision.
That was a good decision. What the fuck you talking about? What?
That was a really bad decision.
I think I cashed a plus 265 on that. It looked good to me.
That was a very bad decision. We were in Vegas for that. Or I was. And Wes
I mean, all that matters is the money went into my account, right? Right, Lance? That's what you always say?
It's very true. But I didn't agree with that decision. But I was also drunk at 6 a.m. watching fights and then watch Ben Askren die. So really, I barely fight.
Beautiful.
Both these guys are C minus in my eyes. I don't know how you could trust Michael Johnson at this point. Either fade him or you don't bet it at all. Getting old. Too many Mookie performances. I'll take Moises too. Andrei Arlovsky taking on Felipe Lenz. Interesting heavyweight fight. Wes?
Yeah. It's I guess just another fight where Zombie Arlovsky gets wheeled out into the cage again. I think he's in trouble here, man. The dude's just about done. I'm still shocked that Arlovsky's still fighting. We just watched him get fucking torpedoed by Fedor fucking 8-9 a decade ago, just a couple of weeks ago, and the guy's he's still going out there for more. I just think at this point, man, Felipe Lenz is just the younger, fresher guy. He's got some decent power. He's probably going to knock out Arlovsky, and I think I'm probably just going to play him straight, man. He's a good parlay piece, still a pretty good price, but I just think I'm going to lay it with Lenz here. I think he gets it done in a devastating fashion.
Lance, you fading Arlovsky? Yes or no?
Yes, I am. And if you look at Arlovsky's run, it's quite hilarious. So he's lost, 4? No contest if you don't count that. So we'll count that as a loss because it was a loss. So he's lost 4 of his last 5. And the one that he won was against Ben Rothwell, which I don't. Was that a bad decision?
Nothing happened from what I remember. Right?
Yeah.
So we don't count that. So he's basically lost like 6 in a row, and then he won 2 fights in between.
The shop
and then
fight
before
too.
that, he won 5. He lost 5 in a row. So this dude has lost like 12 out of his last 14 fights. He keeps hanging around, and I thought Lynn's looked pretty damn good in PFL, and he's younger. He can probably take a better shot. He's definitely more fit, I think, than a lot of heavyweights who are a little bit older. But I like Lynn's. I think he makes quick work of Arlovsky, and I just don't think Arlovsky has anything left.
Okay, Brad, you're the heavyweight guru here.
Yeah, there's not really a lot to disagree with there. Arlovsky's UFC run, as fun as it was while it was happening, when you look back on it, it's really unimpressive. And Lynn's was good in Bellator, good in PFL. He's been good everywhere he goes, whether it's 205 or heavyweight. And even being up at heavyweight, I don't think it's going to matter against Arlovsky, because that dude is so gun shy at this point and slower than Lynn's that he's not going to get anything off. So I think this is going to be pretty quick work for Lynn's.
Sean?
Auto fade Arlovsky, 1 unit minus 147.
I think we're gonna have a consensus here.
That's a nice price.
I have both these guys C- though, but I think this is going to be a good opportunity for Lynn's. I really do. Faster. Arlovsky's kind of steady, so like he's been kind of a gatekeeper for like the lower part of the division. If you beat Arlovsky, you get to move up to ranked fighters. So I think this is Lynn's opportunity. I think he's actually one of those guys who's actually going to get it done, unlike Diaper and some of the other guys that Arlovsky beat. All right, main card, we got Carl Roberson taking on Marvin Vettori. I hope this is more entertaining than I think it's going to be, Wes.
Yeah, for me, this comes down to one thing. Roberson couldn't stop fucking Lance's son Shane from taking him down, and that dude's like what 4 or 5 now. So
Better take that than Lance.
Yeah, but
he's
got the official form.
Yeah, he's got it coursing through his veins.
Look more like Jorgen the Castro forearms, you ask me.
Yeah,
Short.
I just. I do like the improvement we've seen out of Vettori. I think the kid's gotten pretty good, and definitely his his clinch game and wrestling's gotten a little bit better. And I just think he takes Roberson down whenever he wants and smashes him. And yeah, I like Vettori. Probably I'm going to look for something to parlay him with. Maybe just lay it straight again if the line drops a tiny bit. Yeah, Vettori here for me. I think he gets it done.
Lance, do you agree with Wes's wrestling analysis?
That Shane
I said
will take down Rob
It
Roberson?
improved.
Probably.
I mean, you would know
I'll
better
take
than
it
go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ella
so-
take down Roberson.
Ella's badass. So yes. Yeah, I'm in agreement for the most part, just not as confident. Roberson's still a dangerous fighter. He can finish guys. He's the BSG, old
Big
school
strong guy.
Yeah.
Throwback.
So I've never been overly impressed by Vettori. I always feel like he does everything okay. He's not a guy that's going to get people out of there. And I've just never been overly impressed with him, but I think he's the most likely winner here, but I think the line's right. So I'm going to be passing on this one.
Bradford.
Yeah, I think we've sort of had the same idea about Vettori for a while now. Like, he came in as like a 21-year-old or something. You're like, okay, he's got some talent, and if he keeps getting better, then he could be something in the future. And he's just always kind of gotten a little bit better, but not really enough to really break through. So I think he gets it done here, but like Lance, there's enough of the KO potential for Roberson to stay away.
Sean, you're up.
When something called Wellington Turman goes 4 for 7 on takedowns against you, not a great sign.
What is that?
Bad.
That's the guy that went 4 for 7 and went to a split decision with fucking Roberson.
Sounds like a bad.
He's horrible.
Yeah, he's not good at all. I think they're both competitive on the feet. Vittori's been pretty good recently. I mean, obviously that Adesanya fight will tell you quite a bit on what can happen or how good he is. I obviously the huge edge is the takedown and the lack of defense on Roberson. It is a bit scary on the feet, so I'm not going big or anything. I just have a 1-unit play on Vittori at -160.
Yeah, I got Roberson D+, Vittori C. I think Vittori's really improved over his last few fights. I think he's really found his way in this division. He's kind of figured out the cardio as well, which has been a kind of a knock on him. But he's sturdy and solid. He's a guy who's probably going to hang around like 12 to 15 of the weight class, and he's pretty good. Roberson's really just a striker. And doesn't have the tools outside of that big, pretty big KO power. So I'll take Vittori here, just well-rounded, better fighter. I think that's a pretty good price.
He's never been finished either, has he?
Vittori, no.
So
-160 is kind of like a nice price sometimes. You get on like a straight fighter. Like usually, like you can get a guy who's like a legit level above someone else at that price range.
They win a lot. Guys in those price ranges win a lot.
Roberson sub.
Wait, let me pull up a tweet that I saved about what percentage that means.
Oh shit! Break it down. Get the math. Get the calculator out, Brad. This is
What's
fucking
Robertson's
new information.
That's not
This
a bad
is like
play.
this is groundbreaking stuff.
Roberson's up.
God damn, we're just giving
Most of his
out.
wins are by sub.
4 fights left on the main card. This one should be a pretty decent grappling scrap. Ray Borg and
Grappling.
Ricky Simone. Unless Ricky wants to get KO'd by Uriah Faber again, that could
The
be
glove.
Fuck, that was a bad loss.
Yeah, that was a really bad loss. I don't agree with the line here at all, man. I think Borg just, we know how good the guy could be and shit, and I think legitimately had a lot of shit going on in his life, and it seems like he's back training pretty consistently now and fighting pretty consistently, and I think Simone's just a lot of sizzle, no steak, man. The guy's got some flashy shit, but when it gets tough and shit gets dirty like Borg's going to make it, I don't think he's got it, man. I think Borg gets takedowns at will here. His wrestling is just far superior to Simone's, and man, +150 here, I got to take Borg. If this is one of those, if I'm wrong, then just prove that I'm wrong, and I'll take the loss. But Borg at +150 here is just an absolute must play for me.
Lance, who you got?
Are you going to bet
They
Borg?
have to say my name. That's what if I don't want to talk over people. I love Borg here. I echo everything that Wes said. This is the Bear Jew Munich play of the week. It's something new I'm starting.
Oh.
So yeah, I like him here a lot. I think he's going to be a little undersized at 135, but his quickness and his takedowns and how well he transitions once he gets in the ground, I don't think the size is going to be an issue unless he's facing some just like badass wrestler. And Simone is not that. And I've never understood Simone's lines in general. Like, I'm pulling it up now, but like I always feel like there's some weird fucking lines in that guy that like just don't make sense. And I don't think he's all that great. And I think Borg is just the better fighter here. And he's going to take him down. He's going to beat him up. He's going to put him in some bad spots. I don't know if he's going to get the finish, but I really, really like Ray Borg here. So this is my biggest play in the card.
All right, Bradford. Is it your biggest play too?
I don't know that's my biggest play, but I definitely like Borg in this one. Yeah, Simon is just never really been impressive, even going back to the regional days. Coming up, he's always got himself in a lot of trouble spots, and I think that Borg is the type of guy that he doesn't have a ton of finishes lately, but throughout his career, he's been able to really latch onto some subs, especially taking guys' backs, which Simon gives up a lot. So I can see Ray Borg getting a sub here, but even if he doesn't, I think he's going to win scrambles in control position in order to win. I sound like I've got the Rona. Damn. In order to win at least a decision in this one. So I'm playing Ray Borg +150.
New Sean.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun scrambling fight. Both these guys don't have the greatest takedown defense, and both of them like to actually go for takedowns. So I do think Borg will probably end up on top for longer than Simon. I haven't played Borg, but I definitely think he's definitely the play in this. I like Go's decision a lot more. I think it's just going to be a lot of scrambling, a lot of wrestling, and once they get sweaty, it's going to be hard to lock in any subs. So I put that with the Eubanks over for 2 units at plus 112.
I have both these guys at C-. My concern with Borg is that he's so inconsistent. He goes from fight to fight, and you never really know what he's going to bring. But I do like the angle about the sub for Borg. I think that's pretty intriguing. It's at plus 925 at some places. I mean, that's a huge number. Simone definitely gives up his back a pretty good rate, and that's really Borg's bread and butter is finding the back and going for rear nakeds. That's what he does. So that price is super high. I think that's a nice potential scalp. I mean, that price is probably about double what it should be.
Might have to hedge.
Indeed.
That's high.
So Drew Dober and Alex Hernandez. I think this could potentially be fight of the night. How about that, Wes?
Yeah. This could get pretty good. Although I think like Hernandez is probably the slightly more talented guy here. Man, Drew Dober lately is just a tough fucking out for some guys, and he's pulling off some wins lately that he, at least his last one that he probably shouldn't have pulled out, and just maybe his best performance he's ever had. I do lean Hernandez here. I just think he's a little bit more well-rounded than Dober. Definitely more dynamic fighter, younger guy, fresher guy. Seemed to get a little more focus. Maybe lost a little of that overconfidence he had after getting destroyed by Cowboy. So I lean him in this fight. I just it's is one that's probably one of the hardest on the card to pick for me. Dober worries me. That guy's a really fucking tough out now. I know. I think I heard that Hernandez might be an MMA play, so that might swing your thinking a little bit.
Is he being
do
played by a certain Canadian though? That's the real question.
I do lean Hernandez, but man, it's hard to bet against Drew Dober right now, especially when I don't think you're way better than him. I tried to find ways to bet Dober, but you usually want to bet Dober when he's like a 2-1 dog to somebody that
Wes is trying to talk himself into a bet here, but he
I can't do it. It's so close, man. I'm having a hard time even picking a winner here, but I'm leaning Hernandez right now, so that's a pick.
Lance, you want to talk him into something?
Well, I'm with Wes on this one. Like, to me, this is not just because the line's close, but this is a tough fight. And I think when I first started looking at the lines, I was like, damn, Alex Hernandez at even money. Like, that's some crazy shit. Like, this is a good fighter. Like, he's had some big ass wins, but I don't know. I just got this gut that Dober is gonna just clean him. Like, I was on Dober against Nasrat last fight, and Dober was like plus 250. And I thought it was just a shocking line just because Dober's got this weird short power, and Hernandez is a dumb motherfucker. He's either inactive or he's putting himself in some shit. And I don't know, man. Hernandez's last 2 fights were bad. Like, he gets his shit kicked in by Cowboy, and then he faces Grandpa Ronaldo and he's scared to throw a punch. And I'm not touching this one at this point. Dober's up to like minus 120 or something like that, and I can't argue with it. I really can't. I mean, Dober seems like he's found something, and unless he's facing a guy that can take him down and easily out grapple him, like, Dober's a dangerous motherfucker. I think that win over Darius was more of a one-off than what Hernandez is real about.
Listeners are asking if the Canadian cooler is on Dober.
That's the one thing. A lot of things change with the world right now. The one thing that doesn't change is the Canadian cooler mushing damn near everything he touches. He
gave
Jacare
COVID.
fucking COVID.
He gave it to him.
0-3 in COVID. Yeah.
Over like the past couple years, that man's like hurt Aaron Rodgers for a season, giving guys fucking corona. Like he's a master.
Dude, the best part was earlier in the day. So he always goes away, then he comes back. And he starts sending these tweets about how bankroll management and discipline are super important. And this is his fucking bankroll, like, and then like later that night, he's like 0-3 at the time. And he tweets, "I'm fucking tilting right now." I was like, "This is
when are you not? When are you
and then,
not?
And then the next day, I think I'm taking a break.
And repeat.
Man. Like he has to know the future to be that wrong all the time.
He's got Biff Sportsbook. He's got the opposite of the Biff Sportsbook. He's got the wrong
I've never ever seen anything like it.
Yes.
I've never seen anything like it.
Thankfully, you couldn't mush Gaethje. That's the only thing that mattered.
Gaethje's too crazy to get mushed.
That's right. What do you got, Brad?
Is Drew Dober, like, up until maybe this fight, the most underrated guy from a line perspective in the UFC ever?
He's been one. Yeah.
Dude, plus 250 against Nasrat.
Like he's plus 250, plus 300 against everybody. Or like at best, this is pretty close to one of his best lines. He's been a favorite a couple times, but I don't know. I just think he's the steadier guy here and gets it done. And yeah, I've never been impressed by Hernandez. He landed a couple big shots, but I didn't think he was great. Other than the Ohm performance, and I don't think he does that to somebody like Dober that's not going to tire out and just sit on the bottom the whole time.
New Sean.
I don't have a good read on either of these guys. I think I've lost money in the last 3 Hernandez fights. I faded him against Ohm, which was dumb, and then I bet him against Cerrone, and then lost money, which I should have won against Trinaldo. That was kind of fucked up. Grandpa Trinaldo deserves better. And then... and then I lost against fucking Hackbarast. I got a really good number on that one. So I have no clue what's gonna happen in this fight. Dober can pull out that short right that he somehow lands against guys. So that could happen.
Like,
I'll pick him.
Is that body? He's like all upper body. He looks like
he's very stocky.
It's like they started building in the lab and then like forgot about his legs.
He skipped leg day.
Every day.
Non-traditional MMA body for sure.
You got that gym body, Uncle Richard Jr.
Yeah, I got both guys at C+. I think this is an interesting fight. I think Dober's probably at his highest confidence. I think at this point of his career, I think if you're looking to bet the fight like right out of the gate, I think you'd feel more confident with your money on Dober just based on recent performances. I think you'd have to go in and feel like fairly confident. I think with Hernandez, like he's talented. It could certainly win the fight, but I don't think you'd be going in like, I'm really I got confidence that Hernandez could win. I think the better play is probably just to wait 2 minutes and see how each of these guys look. I think there could be a good live betting opportunity in this bout. But if I have to pick one, I'm going to pick Dober. All right, co-main event. This should be sloppy and interesting. Osp moving up to heavyweight to take on my dude, Big Ben Rothwell. Interesting. All right, Wes.
Yeah, this is just I don't know what to make of this fight, man. OSP up at heavyweight. I feel like if Rothwell is just a tiny bit more aggressive and pushes the fight than he usually does, OSP just loves to back up to the cage and lay there, and Rothwell could hold him there and beat up on him for as long as he wants. Would I be shocked if OSP pulls off something stupid on Rothwell and gets some kind of crazy choke when they're on the mat or something? No. But I think you probably got to like Rothwell here as a dog. He's just going to be so much bigger. Like I said, if he does anything remotely pushing the fight and getting it to the cage, he could hold their OSP there for as long as he wanted. I think the over's probably good too. I think this is kind of just Rothwell hanging on him and holding on him and just tapping him up for 15 minutes, I could see it getting really slow and ugly. So lean Rothwell. Haven't bet it yet. Hoping that just some OSP money comes in. I can get a little bit better price and might sprinkle on the over. I think it's like around even money right now as well.
I know Lance really doesn't mind Tennessee losing. I mean, I think he kind of cherishes those moments when he hears that Rocky Top song and gets to see him actually lose.
Here.
Yeah.
We went to that card where he was main eventing.
Against Glover.
It was.
Yep.
Garage champ.
Oh man.
And he hurt Glover, but then Glover found the way. Yeah.
Glover.
It was typical Glover. He got punched in the face a bunch, got hurt, and then out of nowhere he's half dead, lands a takedown, and then chokes you out. That's the garage way to do shit.
That's the garage weight special.
I think, man, like the size difference in this one is like OSP's. He's not short. Like he's not a short guy. He was tall for light heavyweight, but he's not an overly big guy. And when he does clinch, like Rothwell is just a big fucking human. Like that's just a big dude, and like
big strong guy.
He's a big strong guy, and he's built like he's got that like Midwest strong, and like I don't know, he's a big fucking mean guy, and you would think Rothwell is way older. He's been around forever, but he's about the same age as OSP, and I know Rothwell has been in some wars and he's had, a crazy career and everything, but I think this is just a bad idea for OSP. Like he is not a heavyweight. He's a skinny little fella, and Rothwell's a big, mean Wisconsin fucker. And I just think he's going to fucking big brother his ass. I think he's going to push him against the cage. I think he's going to hit him, and it wouldn't even shock me if he catches OSP and puts him out.
Okay. Brad?
I think I'd be a little bit surprised if he knocked him out in this one. I shockingly wouldn't be surprised if it was a submission, though, because he's got all those weird guillotines and stuff that he does once he gets into the clinch. And,
got the standing
and
guillotine,
really likes to fall into clinches a lot of times.
That's a good
when
point.
He's trying to throw strikes at people. So I think there's going to be a lot of clinch, and that sub line we were just talking about, the Borg one, but this one's plus 1250.
Ooh, yeah. What's that right
Jesus.
That's worth
now?
the
1400 at William Hill.
I can see
Are
that.
we gonna have to have another Nashville kind of everybody on this sub fucking bet here?
We should have won that.
Jared Russell, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go. Yeah, this is. Yeah,
And
we did.
I
have
called
that.
it by key lock, and he fucking had it too.
close.
I think we might all have to have one here because that's kind of a crazy line. That's wild.
All right.
Yeah,
Sean.
so that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's a weird fight. All those things are correct. He's gonna outweigh him by a lot. That being said, he was not doing well against Stefan Struve not that long ago, and that's in 2019, and he lost to a decision against Andrei Arlovski in 2019. Like, I definitely can't bet Rothwell. He just doesn't do anything really. And OSP has a weird style that seems to hypnotize some people. But yeah, I can get Rothwell at sub at plus 1400. I might have to sprinkle on that, but I'll
sub Josh Barnett. Not a lot of guys can say that.
That's very, very true. So I'll pick Rothwell, just being the underdog and bigger guy, and might sprinkle on that sub.
Both guys at D plus. I mean, you're right about Rothwell. He's not the same guy that knocked out the Reem and was not too far away from a title shot. If he had JDS in a main event, if he won that, he probably was getting a title shot at that point. But different guy now. But now he's fighting St. Preux, light heavyweight. St. Preux really can't take a big punch either, to be candid. Rothwell, still hits pretty darn hard. He's a definition of a big, strong guy. And he's pretty dangerous. Clench, has weird subs, has some power. St. Preux is a mook. That's what he's been his entire career. So I'll take Rothwell. I like the sub prop too. I think if you try the Rothwell and who were we talking about before, Borg sub props, I think one of those two wins. I think that's a winner. One of those two I think one of those two wins.
Borg or Rothwell by sub. They're both like around plus 1,000 each or so. So
Worth sprinkles, yeah.
Yep.
Agree.
And throw them together too, because you're probably a degenerate.
Yep. All right. Main event. We've been waiting for it. We got Anthony Smith coming into Jacksonville, Florida, taking on the true coronavirus weight, garage weight champion of the world, the master of the garage, the master of training in quarantine, Glover Teixeira.
And the pride of Danbury, Connecticut.
The one and only. Barry, Lance's dad's hometown. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Glover Teixeira. All right, Wes, you can start this one off.
Yeah, I think we've all been talking about this and kind of
for a year.
We've been waiting on this very moment for Glover's since we saw the countdown show of him in the garage and the fucking garbage can bath ice baths.
This was it. Fucking waste management.
It was for this moment. It was for this moment right here. Man's got the same. Those 12-year-olds are now fucking 20-year-olds, and they are bodies. They are bodies.
He's actually bodies he can fight.
They are bodies in the garage. All of them, same fucking atmosphere.
How many garbage truck guys you think he's brought into that garage?
Did you see the size of those garbage cans he takes ice baths in? Those ain't bought at a Lowe's, dog. That's knowing somebody. You know what I'm saying?
God,
like he's had some partners up there training for this moment. This is his fucking time. There's no better time for the garage weight champ. All seriousness, I like Glover in this fight, man. Anthony Smith is, decent, all well and good. Has had his run. Man, he's kind of like Ortega in my mind a lot. He gets fucked up so much, pulls something off, ends up snatching victories when he really shouldn't. And I think Glover's still criminally underrated, man. Even now at 40, the guy hits like a truck. And his wrestling is so good, man. He gets guys down and smashes them. I see that happening here. I think Glover gets some takedowns. I think he gets on top of Anthony Smith and he smashes him. I don't think Glover should be this big of a dog, but it seems like he is almost every fight now. And the guy keeps winning fights and cashing at 40 years old. And quarantine with those 20-year-olds now, ice baths in those fresh garbage cans. Right, it's the garage weight champs time, baby. Give me some Glover as a dog.
Yeah, if you can't wrestle, then you really aren't going to beat Glover. And Glover, you've seen so many of his fights recently, more when he got older, right? That he takes a beating, and then his wrestling is just good enough when he's half unconscious to get guys to the ground. And it's like you got the Kudalaba fight, the Roberson fight, the Serkinov fight. Like fights, he was in trouble. Like he got hurt bad, and then he just gets a leg, and then he somehow finishes. I bet his takedown defense when he's his takedown accuracy when he's half unconscious is like 100%. It's like he just like turns into like a fucking national champion wrestler. And when you look at his losses, it's all to good wrestlers like Corey Anderson, Anthony Johnson, Phil Davis, John Jones, and like Gus. That was just too much there. But like he beats guys, and I think this is gonna be the same. Anthony Smith comes out, he throws wild punches, he connects, he's got good power. But his takedown defense isn't good. So I see Anthony Smith catching him a little bit. I think he hits him, and I think Glover gets a takedown, and I think Glover finishes this fight. I think he submits Anthony Smith or knocks him out with some ground and pound. And there's no also telling with Anthony Smith, like he had that traumatic, home break-in and all that shit, and like
he couldn't beat up a fucking burglar.
Yeah, dude, he said like his life flashed behind, his life flashed before his eyes, and like. If that shit would have happened to Glover, the dude would have dropped Glover. I think Glover would have taken him down and beaten him up. Like Glover's made for this shit, and I think Wes made the most important point earlier is those 12-year-olds are now 20.
Those are good training partners.
This is the
They
first
are
time he's
peaking right
finally-
now.
He finally, like, this win streak he's had the last couple of years, won 3 in a row. That's when all those 12-year-olds like turned 18 and they were legal.
Fucking men, fucking men bodies.
And, like,
They're
now-
hanging out in the garage loft. That's where they sleep, bro.
Yeah, like this dude. There's this quote I saw from Glover. I forget exactly what it was, but he was talking about how he went to the UFC Performance Institute, and it really helped him. And his training camps are really brutal.
It's got to be tough to fight in an 8 foot by 8 foot garage.
Well, it's like when everyone else is struggling right now. Like work from home's tough, man. You don't get out, you don't see people. Like Glover just he like time to go to work. He just fucking walks downstairs.
He goes right through the kitchen,
Drives in this environment.
Like I get it. This happened to me right now. There's no separation from work and home, so it's just tough for Glover. But man, he's built for this shit. Everyone else is
Tough for
struggling. He's
Glover?
thriving.
How is this tough for Glover? It's literally he's been doing it forever.
He's
That's
there.
why it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough
The
for everyone
dedication.
else.
This is
Anthony
true.
Smith is
Yeah.
training from home with burglars. Like Glover's got a team. He's got a squad. He's got
Bar-
garbage
Burglars that he can't knock out. Apparently,
Yeah, dude, like that. Like, yeah, I don't get it. Like, if you got
What
the guy
if
with an arm,
Glover sent the burglars to Anthony Smith's house
Oh,
to
shit.
get him to train with some people, see where he was at with his game?
Got the
I think there's
intel.
some covert shit going on.
Yeah,
there.
so
I think he's just on another level.
Yep.
You definitely got to side with Glover here. And we were talking a minute ago about that Nashville card that we were at. This is going to be the exact same fight. Oth put him in that fight, and then Glover took him down. And then he got up, and Oth put him again, and Glover took him down. That it's going to happen a couple times in this fight where Anthony Smith hurts him. He gets a takedown, and one of the times he's just going to pound him out or get a sub. Glover's winning this. It's over. Garage weight champ, baby. I know
All
the
the
game
fights
plan.
are
I'm
the
in the
same.
corner.
all of his fights are exactly the same. He literally gets hurt, just about finished, and then wins the fight. Every fight.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yep.
All right, new Sean.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Glover was born for this shit. This is some Bane type shit. He like you guys have said, he gets hit, he gets a little hurt, but that's how you know it's a Glover fight. Anthony Smith has decent hands, but I think Glover can take anything he throws, and Anthony Smith is he seems to just like all of a sudden guys he's fighting get tired and then he just capitalizes. Glover doesn't have an amazing cardio, but he's got pretty good cardio for 205. So I don't think that'll happen. I think he'll be able to get him down. I don't know if he'll be able to get a sub. Anthony Smith actually has some pretty good sub defense, so hopefully Glover doesn't fuck around and try for that shit and just pounds him out, because I think that's his path to victory. So I took him for 2 units and I got plus 155. It's good plus money on the garage weight champion.
Yeah, I rate Anthony
Good dog
Smith.
spot.
I rate Anthony Smith at B, Glover C plus. But that's under normal times. I mean, during this time, I mean, Glover's kind of like on if you're playing like NBA Jam and you get like one of those like turbos, and now the guy could dunk from half court. That's like kind of Glover and coronavirus. Yeah, exactly. So that it's kind of an interesting fight, because there is a scenario where like Anthony Smith like wipes the floor with Glover in like 30 seconds. I feel like Glover gets dropped in the first round in almost every single fight, and sometimes he gets finished. Like rarely, I mean, Rumble is obviously one example, but he gets dropped in every fight, and it's like super dangerous to bet him. But then the Glover, Glover typically recovers, finds his way to a takedown, and then finds a way to a submission. I think there's if you're gonna bet Glover here, I think he wins by sub. He's not winning a decision over 5 rounds. It's just not happening. I think Glover by sub is plus 450. Certainly a bettable play. I mean,
This
Anthony
is the tout play of the week, kids.
Yeah.
Glover sub, Rothwell sub, Borg sub,
sub.
all
Put 'em
parlay
all
together.
Parlay them all
Put 'em
up
all
too.
What are those
That's the
winning?
bookie banger
I mean, Anthony
COVID special
Smith
of the week.
in the first round is plus 300. I mean, I think that has a possibility too. But Glover by sub is pretty good. I like the juju around Glover.
Would you do that parlay, Brad, or the one you're probably going to have to pay for that's going to have Eubanks in a parlay?
I would do ours.
So I was.
You know that play's going to be all over a certain website. There's probably going to be like 4 out of the 7 touts on there that's got her.
Eubank straight.
It's a fucking auto win, bro. She's -380. Of course she's gonna win.
So I was looking at Sherdog, and Glover's camp literally is it's Glover MMA or Teixeira MMA and Fitness.
Love it.
And I went to the website.
What's
for
his address on it?
Teixeira MMA and Fitness, and it says owned and operated by professional MMA fighter Glover Teixeira. Teixeira MMA Fitness offers a friendly community atmosphere.
A fucking garage is very friendly.
Yeah, what's less friendly than going to your neighbor's house, everybody having beers and watching guys roll around on mats? I mean, nothing more friendly than that. It seems like they're community oriented.
So he actually has like a space now, and you got to look up the picture. It's like in this random, like almost abandoned shopping center, and he's
in a strip mall.
It's in Teixeira MMA Fitness, and then next door is called Medical Home Care, and then the only other place in the shopping center is a store, and the store's name is Hardware.
Oh, I'm looking at the map. Let's say
just hardware.
Hardware.
See now that the 12-year-olds are 20, they can leave the house and shit.
It's a hardware store.
Glover can take them over to
You see the map?
It just says hardware store. There's no name. It just says hardware.
It's just hardware.
Fucking garage weight champ.
Oh
There's
my
2
God.
minivans parked next to each other, and there's a Hummer on the other side. I mean,
That's the 20-year-olds driving their mom's minivan over to fucking train.
there's also 6 wheelbarrows lined up next to each other.
Oh, you know they're fucking putting weights in that. That's weight training, baby.
That's their training.
There's a house across the street. I'm pretty sure that's Glover's house.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my God.
Oh, fuck.
Dude,
What a champion.
Hardware.
Stony something road. Where is this? Bethel, Connecticut.
Connecticut. Yeah,
Gotta find
Danbury's own.
Gotta find
Yo,
that.
what's your gym next to, dog? It's next to Hardware.
Hardware.
Pete's Hardware. Just Hardware.
Just hardware.
Right down the street from Danbury. Yep. Look at
Dude, I want to see the instructors. Glover.
It's just Glover. It's fucking Glover.
Magalhaes. Kyle Magalhaes.
Is it?
Oh, shit.
No.
Oh, no.
I'm looking at the instructors. I gotta look.
That dude has some big
Magalhaes. Yeah. There's some guy named Killis Moda.
I think this is worse than the garage.
It's the Pit East, baby. The Pit Northeast.
This is not a good website.
Come in there.
The Pit Northeast.
Adult programs are adult Hawaiian Kempo, adult BJJ, cardio.
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking
Hawaiian
Kempo.
That's the Pit, baby.
That's right.
Hawaiian Kempo.
Yep.
This is tremendous.
They
Fucking
also
dangerous.
offer Fight team.
Back in the day, Chuck used to use that Hawaiian Kempo eye poke. That was his go-to move.
So the most recent YouTube video from Teixeira MMA and Fitness, it's titled "At Home Work."
Yes. That's fucking.
We are the leading innovators in your at-home training.
I don't know.
We've been doing.
It was
this.
also the only video, and it was posted in 2015.
Did you look at the photos section of the website and look at the oh my god, the picture of the team? There's one kid who looks like he's like 12 years old. And he might be part of the gym.
Hey, they move them up the ranks, man. You start when you're young there.
I can't believe
Start
that.
when you're young.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if he's getting an internship, apprentice. Free.
That was a fun show, guys. That was good.
Yeah, that was.
What's the next thing after this?
I guess I'll be
Another
back
thing coming?
on Thursday or Friday for another.
Unless we do, maybe some of us will be here on Wednesday. Maybe we'll do some live chatter for
I think we can. Yeah, I think we can.
Maybe.
I'm down for that. We'll probably be doing. We would be doing a
We'll add
Zoom
some other
anyway.
people. Yeah, maybe we'll add some people.
Yeah. Bring Jeremy over.
If some of the listeners of the show are interested in doing participating with us in a live chat, tweet to the MMA Analysis Twitter handle, and perhaps we can add you into that conversation. So
Wednesday night main card. Good
It would be like doing a Zoom chat for work at 9 at night.
Yeah.
Isn't it wonderful?
Fuck.
Sweet.
you're assuming our listeners work. Stop. Don't.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right,
Closing
Jay,
us
you
out,
wanna-
closing us out, Jay, or what are you doing
Yeah,
here?
that's it. I think
Oh,
we're gonna have
I thought
fun.
that was it.
I mean,
Hey,
betting
take it
on
away.
betting on Glover in pandemic is one of my
is probably my favorite consensus bet of the last year. Win or lose, I love it. And we'll talk about it on Wednesday. We'll see you then.